We want to multiply. How you gonna do it? I know you're qualified. Are you gonna do it? Don't be so circumscribed. Are you gonna do it? Just get yourself untied. Are you gonna do it? Feel the heat pushing you to the side. Feel the heat burning you up. Ready or not, some like it hot and some sweat when the heat is on. Some feel the heat and decide that they can go on. Some like it hot, but you can tell how hot till you dry. Some like it hot, so let's turn up the heat till we dry.
Come on, man, ice me. Give him ice.
Want some ice? I'll go get you some ice.
Dep! Gringo!
The kids at Jump Street.
See you later, Mark.
See you later.
Bye.
Aquaman. Glad you could make it.
I brought some shrimp.
Baba Ganoush?
Hey, lighten up, Captain Hairdo. You're the one who talks like this, okay?
Actually, I'm here to ask a question.
Well, if I get the right answer, you take your top off. Papa Fooey, get in here, will you? Come on. Got something to ask. Yeah. Come on.
I'm here to say that I think that 90% of Saturday Night Live sucks. And he says, I hope Cody grows up to be like a gay senator or something. And
I'm going to have a quick latte with Bruce Boxleitner. I hope I'm back in time to see future stars. So
You don't understand. I need this drink. I'm a caveman, and I'm frightened by your strange flying machine.
Dear, I mean, after all, you're gay.
Sit your convicted felon ass down. Get your hands off the white girl. You're gonna get us all killed in here.
Hey, don't fill up on your peanuts. Put your second bag away. Then when you get to your rent-a-car, you got a nice surprise.
We're so glad you cleaned up. Don't go chasing waterfalls.
If you only see one film the rest of your life, it should be Mickey Blue Eyes.
Oh, I'm afraid not too well. The doctors aren't too optimistic. Thank you.
That's a bitch. Down low. Give me a soft little one down here.
What?
And who is the funniest man alive? You guessed it, Frank Stallone.
Now I know what different feels like. Okay. Hi-ya!
Oh, Bruce Lee!
Hey! Hey!
Go, Bruce!
I met you 6 months ago. You could have saved my marriage, okay? Right? You're the man.
I was the man. Spin mode, Gary.
Well done, Gary. The planetoid is safe again.
Go!
Now what's everybody looking at?
He wished his parents would get back together?
No, he didn't. Father was able to be more understanding with his wife, and she stopped busting his balls.
You're gonna miss my lover. You're gonna miss my lover.
Buddy, where do you think you're going?
For a little spin, I got a little drunk driving to do.
Get this dead mother out of here! And what one of you nurses has got a mop?
Russell Simmons got the emergency room jam.
It's an ecological nightmare. I think Mr. Dole and company are going to ignore this particular problem until it swims up behind you and bites you in the ass!
Damn, Natalie, you a crazy chick.
You shut the up and suck my bustin' tooth bounce like gushers, motherfucker. Pull up on NBC and smack the Snapchat sucker.
What you want, Natalie?
Richard Grieco. The heat is faded.
But he seems to still have that certain look on his face that needs to be wiped off.
Holy Lord, when I used to watch him on 21 Jump Street, he would make me so angry it was like I was on steroids.
Can't have a bad mouth and you a call like that? I don't know, she has a killer body. I wouldn't throw her out of bed for eating crackers.
Our topic is sassy, and I have to ask Christian, what makes you so sassy?
Well, you know, clean living and dirty thinking.
Sprechen Sie sassy?
Hi, I'm Patrick Swayze. I know you can't see or hear me, but if there was just some way I could tell you I'll be hosting Saturday Night Live. I love you.
I could sit here and read live commercials and just make tons of money for the company. I could tell you the same thing over and over again.
I can't be tagged as the guy who's a dick.
They must be so jealous of me. I'm so successful, and they're just kind of not. You know what I mean? I feel the jealousy. That's why I don't leave my house. Don't you also sort of harbor some resentment, even though it's not logical, but you resent your baby for being in the way of your career?
Because we don't want the Japs anymore.
Because I want respect.
Some people say our show was the first reality show. I don't think there's one thing I've ever said on the radio that would have been found indecent or obscene. The secret to my show is honesty, reality, that I will say the truth.
I don't know, Debbie. It's a strange request. I guess I'll grant you it. I don't know why the parents aren't naming kids Byron anymore. If you people want to take the first name for your own, like you did with, you claim things like Bruce and such, you can have it. You can have Byron. I'll tell you what. I don't know how we're going to set this up. You can have Byron. It's a really odd request, but I guess it's the least we can do for all you people have really done for us.
Yeah,
Anyway. You were saying? Oh, by the way.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. Go. You finish.
No, the spontaneity is killed. Don't worry about it.
No, it's not, because I'll tell you why. Because Natalie Portman's gonna slap the shit out of Jeff Zucker at NBC.
I have never seen that.
You never saw that?
Great. No, I never.
That
saw
was amazing. If Natalie Portman did a rap album, it would be amazing. I'd buy it. It's as good as anything I've ever heard. That's her doing it. You know.
Yeah. She brings the aggression and the energy. Totally.
She's gonna slap the shit out of Jeff Zucker. That is such a good line. Bon.
Pause it.
That's not me, guys. That wasn't me. That was Bon Jovial playing one of his crazy sound drops. That was
just when you thought you knew Sizzle Chest.
What? When did I do that? Oh my God. Hi chat. Welcome to the Lotus Notes family, everyone. Barbara DeRush, you love us some Babs DeRush, all Shamrock. We had a commentary yesterday on St. Patrick's Day that Notre Dame, we had this chat, this text, group text where Notre Dame, every St. Patrick's Day, Notre Dame ups their tuition $10,000 a year to families.
Need more money for the whiskey. All right.
We need more. It's just that it's the only school that has a roving promotion for ethnicity and religion. Like it would be like if LIU in New York, Brooklyn was called the LIU Pugilist Pizons.
Right.
Or the Pittsburgh Panthers like changed the nickname to the Pittsburgh Pollocks, and everybody Polish in all of America went to Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? It's the only school that can get away with that.
It seems out of time now. Yeah.
It does. And here you have a whole holiday, right? Dedicated to one university. They have NBC on Saturday night for their football. They have non-football fans watching it. It's crazy. Everybody Irish in America would pay $300,000 a year to send their fucking kid to Notre Dame. Could you imagine if Notre Dame were in Boston? How much they charge? It's in Indiana.
God.
Yeah, and just add to the overpopulation of college students that city has to deal with.
Yeah, okay. Isn't it right? Isn't that ground zero for college, New England, that whole region?
Oh, there's
Isn't it?
a million colleges.
If they
in
could
Boston.
stay in college their whole lives, they would do it. Like if you said to anybody from New Hampshire or Vermont or Rhode Island, hey, you could just be a college student for 45 years and no career. We'll just pay you like a general salary, and you could just call your stay in college. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it.
I had a friend who like educated herself out of any possible employment for staying in school. She stayed in school for
Professional students.
Yeah.
Professional students. Okay.
Until she was like 28. She did like 8 or 9 years of school, and she has like, a master's, a doctorate in like musicology and like, Sega Genesis games from 1994 to 1997. It's like the most useless degree.
If video games could be in black and white, you would have that done. By the way, there's a name for that person, and they're called Ashley Stern.
Right.
Or Van Wilder.
Van Wilder.
Or Tommy Boy.
You guys know we're live, don't you?
No.
I didn't know
No.
that.
That's what inane banter. Who would put that on a podcast and expect people to listen to it? It's like a comedian promoting themselves and talking about themselves and not having anything to offer, but
Right.
jerking themselves off. Right, guys? Right, guys?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Welcome, everyone. This is Lotus Notes 30. This is the Deppening 30.
Wow. That's amazing. 30. I can't believe it.
I want to say hi to Barbara DeRush, Autobot, Sky Spectre. There's
How about you do all of that while we talk about one of your mates, John, has gave this announcement.
Everybody, it's
this
me,
week.
Rosie O'Donnell,
Look
star
at
of the
this.
Flintstones. And I'm here in Ireland. Moved here on January 15th. And it's
This was
been
huge news,
pretty wonderful,
wasn't
I
it,
have to say,
everybody?
in the process of getting my Irish citizenship, as I have Irish grandparents. Although I was never someone who thought I would move to another country, that's what I decided would be the best for myself and my 12-year-old child. I'm happy. I miss my other kids. I miss my friends. I miss many things about life there at home. And I'm trying to find a home here in this beautiful country. And when it is safe for all citizens to have equal rights there in America, that's when we will consider coming back. Been heartbreaking to see what's happening politically, and hard for me personally as well. The personal is political. I think about everyone every day, and the United States of America, and I am hoping that we can turn things around.
Oh,
Counting
boy.
on you, all of you, to
Wow,
do what's
Rosie.
right. And I think deep down inside, we all know what that is.
Oh, and unrecognizable, of course, and
Hey, at least she let herself get gray and doesn't have plastic surgery and stuff. She could have went that direction. I give her that.
Yeah, she started with a joke, at least saying that she's the chick from Scooby Doo.
Yeah, the Flintstones. I know they're all the same to you, Bon Jovial, but it's
I know.
All those
yeah.
Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
Did I just get that wrong?
Yeah, that's okay. That's cute. It's very cute.
It's
How great
early.
would it be? How great would it be if Chauncey popped up from behind the couch? And went, guess who? How much you want to bet she didn't actually film that in Ireland? It's in Nyack, New York.
Right.
I saw it.
Well, if you're wondering why I played that, the only reason was so I could play this
I went to grab a box of Pop-Tarts, and Rosie O'Donnell got the last one.
and this.
I want to have a pool table in honor of Rosie O'Donnell. It says no scissoring.
And finally this.
Rosie O'Donnell taught Madonna and Davyd how to throw a baseball.
Thank you very much.
I would be in trouble if I were like a politician. You know how like all the different sleuths find Trump saying all this stuff like in a medley?
Right.
You would be able to do that with me on just like Rosie O'Donnell.
Oh, are you saying you have regrets?
None. I know, of course not. I'm not walking that back. I love every second of that. I love it.
Bon Jovial would out you like you're Billy Bush.
Right. Access Hollywood.
Oh my
I'm gonna
God. That's
grab him by the. And by the way, Trump and Rosie O'Donnell. Give Rosie O'Donnell credit. She's been feuding with Trump for 20-something years.
Yeah.
Like that goes way back. Those two.
They were,
gosh.
I think they were on the same episode of The Nanny together. I mean,
Get out of
weirdly-
here.
Yeah. Like, but not. It's sorry. That's not worth bringing up here. I'm sorry. But
Only it is because it is. If ever there's a show, because we did cover Fran Drescher, but only you have a encyclopedic knowledge of nanny storylines.
Well, of course, my people do. But no, it was a whole subplot where like Fran went to visit the Rosie O'Donnell show, which taped in New York, but then the scenes shot in the like Sheffield house in LA. That's where Trump made the guest appearance. So they were on the same episode.
Oh wow!
Filmed in different cities.
It probably fell apart right after that.
Yeah, I think it did.
He was on it.
Right.
He was. I think it was 15, and it was like a Republican primary. It just goes. It was so ridiculous. He just goes, and Rosie O'Donnell is a big fat pig. This is like right in the primary. I'm just like, what?
See, you do a really good Trump as
Everybody,
well.
I know.
John.
Everybody, I've been doing it for a long time. Everybody does it. I'm getting like it makes me. I get sick of myself.
Not everybody does it. You do. That's a good one, and you've been doing that for a long time. And it's such a perfect moment to say. I mean, I see people are asking where Sarah is, and I
Right
can
here.
confirm to everybody that that's right, John. And I'll just take that down because I can confirm.
What a dick! What a dick!
I can confirm that I can guarantee you Sarah will be back on the air because one of her mates this week got involved in her whole thing about leaving the show, and this is what happened.
Sir, here we have an executive order for the Sarah Man to return to the podcast and to start an OnlyFans account.
That's a big one, huh? A lot of people are waiting for this for years, for decades.
Look at that. He's signing
And
it.
everything will be revealed. Okay? Okay.
This is Sarah on there. Sarah, come back.
Okay. Thank you very
Mr.
much.
President.
So you can see she has to come back now.
Was that the Cheesecake Factory menu?
I don't know what it is, but he's got a great signature. I'll give him that. His
Oh,
signature
he's
is
signed it many
awesome.
times. He's
Yes,
signed
he
it many-
did. And everybody gets a pen. That one went to
Yeah.
RFK. After that part there, he tells his little next person, give this pen to RFK Jr., please. He's having a great time in there in the Oval Office. He's just doing whatever the hell. He's letting his freak flag fly.
Even RFK's pen is a nepo baby.
I told Sarah that, or I meant to tell Sarah, because she had said that she wanted to replace covering Golden Girls with covering Gigolos from Showtime.
Greco.
With Greco. And she said, it would be impossible on Patreon because there's so much full frontal nudity. So I was like, we should just start a Deppening OnlyFans to cover it there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Look at this. Melvin's going crazy. Look at that.
She's got a
Your
lot of
buddy
fans.
Melvin.
She's got a lot of dedicated fans. And her integrity. She's got quite the integrity. So Melvin says, I've been waiting for Sarah and waiting. Oh, Sarah OnlyFans. Hashtag bring back Sarah. Hashtag come back Sarah. Come back. Oh God. Melvin's such a deviant. He makes Mr. Skin look like George Will.
Yeah.
He'll probably love my tribute. Can I get to my tribute? Can we
Yes.
get it out of the way? I should kind of say.
Yeah.
I guess.
Let me just say hi to everybody first.
All right, do the roll
Chubby
call.
Pickle. Hey. Autobot, I said on Barber Garage.
Roll
Jeff.
call.
Classic Jeff. I thought my username was different. I don't know, Jeff, you want to put something spicier in there? This guy, Arm, would be late to his own funeral. Funeral, says Brendan. Alpha Flight's biggest fan. Hi, I'm Fred Durp from the Radio Gunk Forum. Hi, Fred. Hi, Fred. Hi, Fred. Hi, Fred. Crazy Alice says hi, and I don't do technology. Welcome to the Lotus Notes family, Fred Durp. I've been kicking
roll call.
We got to do. We got to put Lisa G as the roll call when we do that. That'd be good. How's he football?
Man.
Had a question. How's he? Did I tell you that the reason there's Rick the Electrician, the numbers are. You said he was looking for old Deppenings. So in our Patre-ARM, how pompous is that? The
No, that
jump streets
works.
are labeled Deppening numbers. That's why you're missing them. So when we do 21 Arm Street, they are labeled Deppening, like Deppening 75 or whatever. So that's what we've done. Davyd, what about 30? Season 3's 13 episodes. Season 2's 23. About 37, 38 jump streets.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
We just did. Davyd and I, by the way, just finished ARMfeld, season 2 episode. Was it 6 or 7?
I think 7. The Revenge.
Okay, the Revenge. Yeah. And I'm really proud of that one. It's almost 4 hours, and we both hated an episode that is completely revered and lionized over the years. It's crazy, right? With the 2025 set of vibes, we both said that there's so many holes you could punch in it. It doesn't hold up.
Yeah. I'm interested as we go forward because you have brought me into a headspace where I'm watching this through the lens of hating the star of the show.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting thing where I probably always watched the show just kind of putting Jerry to one side. Like I felt indifferent about him, but now I'm sort of like actively angry about all the screen time that he gets.
Our epiphany, our collective epiphany is that Jerry Seinfeld over the title. And Bon, we want you to sit in on one of these because I know you know the show. I know we're gonna try to make it for a time that you can make it like something like this, but his is the most unnecessary, superfluous part of his own show. If you replaced him with any comedian, his character is terrible. He has no. If you wrote this on paper, you would never sign. You would never bring it to. He has no flaws. He has no. He just there's no. You would. He would never. There's nothing interesting about him as a character, and yet he has to be crowbarred into every scene. And so there's B stories that are too long because he's in it and he has to be on screen a certain amount of time. And he really is the least funny on the show. He's the least likable on the show. And it's not noble. He wants to be. He gives himself great like one-liners because he laughs at his own jokes.
Right.
But he's so exposed on. It's not that he's a bad actor. He obviously is. His charisma is the problem, and you're not rooting for him. And it's a horrible, horrible, boring written character. He has no flaws. His flaws is he's a workaholic and he's neat.
I think I said in the breakdown, his flaw is that he's better than you. Like, which is the worst way to write a character.
No, but I think that's a bit off because in the later seasons, you see more of his quirks.
You know why?
He's eccentric and how he destroys his relationships is one thing. He can't keep a relationship, and it's all because he's a weirdo.
Well, that's another backward compliment to himself. And tell him why, Davyd, that in the later seasons that he said that.
Yeah, I mean, Larry left after
Larry David's gone.
Yeah, and so it's just a sort of caricature circus performance of what a Seinfeld plot would be like in seasons 8 and 9. I do think that it is weird that like the next episode I think in ARMfeld is the busboy episode where George accidentally gets a busboy fired for claiming he set a napkin on fire or something, and Jerry in that episode has nothing to do. Like he's just watching the three of them kind of figure out their A and B story, so he's already disposable by season 2,
Like and the crazy thing is they seem to have a mandate that he must be in a certain amount of minutes per episode, even if it's completely unnecessary. Because we watch episodes where you don't see Elaine until 75% of the episode in.
Right.
We have episodes Kramer's barely in it, but he's always in every beat. It's even if we could reverse it where we're going to say if Larry's the lead and they switch places, we say it all the time. Kramer is in real life. Larry David's life is Jerry's life. It's not that George is Jerry. All the stuff that happens in Jerry's apartment happened to Larry. Larry's the one who, in real life, lived across from Kramer. So they took Larry's.
All right, we're getting.
No, we're not.
Yeah,
no, we're not.
This is getting weird.
The show is about nothing.
And before I retire this one, Davyd, just one more time.
You play a hell of a piano.
Thank you.
No, continue, John. I'm sorry.
No,
Go.
and so yeah, I want everyone to check out, even if you're not. I also want.
Now he's
request-
pissed off with me.
Stop the flow.
We're thinking about expanding. So we're going to put out a poll of the next shows, be it Sopranos or Larry Sanders, or what were some of the other ideas?
I mean, we thought about alternating with Curb too. Like,
yes, Curb that. Go back and forth with Curb. Right. And we're trying to, and again, there's so many Seinfeld podcasts and review shows probably over the years that we're trying to give you something more vitriolic and different and negative that has teeth with a different angle. Because I'm not going to kiss its asshole every time.
Finding as much Shoshana Lonstein press as we can possibly find.
I know. It's like it's half the fucking show. Thank you, Barbara DeRush. She says, I want to thank you guys for the last Depending on the Patreon. I couldn't sleep and listen to you guys. I was laughing. And Beth, that's a great compliment. That is the ultimate compliment. Speaking of compliments, I believe you guys have something to say to BOFF.
Yes. Thank you so much for Daria, the complete series with the original music. I was going to my favorite episodes and just it felt like old times. It was incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much. And BOFF, if you have a song request that you want to hear on piano, you can request 5 for all 5 seasons of Daria. I don't care,
Play it on the cello. Why is it the piano? You're just as good on the cello, aren't you? Or better, aren't you?
I'm probably better as a cellist. Yeah, so I can make a little, I can put a little concert together and just
a concertina. I love it.
Tone Cock's dad went to LIU, by the way. The Blackbirds, I think their nickname is. That's great, Tone Cock. Go ahead.
Thanks, Tone Cott, for crowbarring that.
Anyway,
no, he's. I brought up LIU before. That's why he's doing it, because they should be called the pugilistic Pizons. Counter. Go ahead.
So, BOFF, if you're listening or you hear this, contact ARM if you have some song requests. I owe you one. So thank you.
And I owe BOFF. It's a BOFF fest because I owe BOFF. I want to thank BOFF for providing me with the Max TV show and Spawn, and while I'm at it, tribute to BOFF. There you go. He's got his own video drop there. Thank you for the world, and look, our thanks, Davyd, and my thanks are nothing compared to what BOFF has done for John. Tell him how many years has BOFF been helping you, John?
I'd say 7.
Oh my
6 or
God.
7. He's so much of what is in this, is from his, finding. If I can't get at something, like the other day, last week, 2 weeks ago, I'm sorry. He gave me the entire collection of the CBS Saturday Night Show, the entire run of it.
Wow.
It's 86 episodes. And so the reason I wanted it is because occasionally there's stuff in there that never made it to the E! Show.
Right.
That's on video. And whether it's Stuttering John or Gary Garver interviews and stuff like that. So I have. They did a horrible job on that. But occasionally something leaks out on that bad attention span theater that you can get.
I feel like the one thing I remember seeing in a CBS show video that was not on the E! Show was they had like a female Stuttering John questioner.
She was excellent. Yes. We got to find that. That's a great idea. She was excellent.
She asked Jamie Lee Curtis if she has a penis.
We played that on Gunk. I played that on Gunk, and when he cut it off, 20 seconds in. Didn't have the attention span for 70 seconds. It was amazing. We didn't get to it or something. I was so angry at that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh God. And I like Jamie Lee Curtis, and but it was so ballsy.
Yeah. The interviewer was ballsy too. That's didn't even hesitate, just went right into it. Yeah.
God damn it, that's right. Do you remember they used an older woman to replace when John started getting recognized to go out to an event?
I don't remember that.
What a guy Howard is, putting like a 72-year-old woman on the line out in what a guy. And he won't do it himself. I'll get
right.
money.
Right. Well, he probably figures no one's gonna punch a 72-year-old woman now.
That's exactly what he did. Right. So he doesn't get punched. Right? Isn't that the bottom line? You go out and do it, Mr. Probably making, $25 million a year at that point.
Well, I think that he, Stuttering John as a younger, kind of blowhard guy, like, yeah, he probably he summons the energy that people want to punch him, but a 72-year-old woman asking like a horrible question, he probably figures like, they'll probably just think that she's kind of losing it and they'll be more kind to her.
That's exactly right. But he doesn't know that for a fact. There's some psychopaths out there that might punch her.
Just to they're pissing me off already. Yeah, I do know what concertina, in a figure of speech, in a figure of speech, concertina it down means to shorten it. So, Brendan, you're a prick.
He is a prick.
He's your best friend, John, and he's being so rude. And so
I'll just
when
say
I
I'm
said
glad he's on my side,
concertina,
I'm glad he's
when
on my
Davyd
side.
was talking before, and I said concertina, I'm not talking about the handheld little
Accordion,
instrument. I'm using the figure of speech. I don't F up too much. And I don't F up at 9 a.m. in the morning either. And that's impressive too. How come this pisses me off is because I said concertina and I didn't get a
All right.
from
I'm going to cut
John.
you off. I'm going to cut you off.
I didn't get that from John.
Right.
And if Davyd had said concertina it down, John would have gone, whoa, 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 whoa. How come I didn't get that down? And I've used some big words over the last few weeks. A few weeks ago, I used a great word and I didn't get any action.
Yes, you did. I know what you're talking about. By the way, you could beat to death Constantina, but we can't promote our ARMfeld, our ARMfeld Patreon, and you can talk about Constantina for 4 hours.
I didn't though.
Hypocrite.
Oh, are you fucking? Are you? Wait, let me get a drop. Let me shit on you for no.
You know that there's an unusual number of people in this country having sex with amputees.
There you go. I collected all of that stuff. So who likes your little Seinfeld?
You can't bring Pepsi.
Why not?
Because we're adults.
See, if I didn't love your little Seinfeld, little money-making scam, I wouldn't have all this stuff that I can go stereo. Why not? Look at this, I can freak everybody out. Look.
All you gotta do is jiggle it. Just get
It's like a nightmare dream right now.
I hate
This is
Did
I
you
love
just
your
say?
Seinfeld.
Did you just say a 4 to 5 hour show is a scam that we do?
No,
Your
that's
Seinfeld
you.
scam?
That's in your head.
No, you just used the word scam. We're pumping out. You know how long
I didn't say
we're
a
pumping out a
4
4 to 5 hour show, and you're calling that a scam? Do you know
But
how
I
good
didn't
a
mention-
bargain that is?
Excusez-moi. I didn't mention any hour duration. That's in your head. You just said
No,
a
I
4
heard
to
the word
5 hour.
scam. I heard the
But
word
I didn't
scam.
say 4 to 5 hours.
No, I
is
heard
a
the word scam. I heard the word scam.
It's
You know how much George Costanza artistic integrity we have on the show? I, for one, will not
All right.
compromise my artistic integrity.
All right. Let's do it on this show then. But you can't.
What do you mean?
You can't do it because
Do what on the show?
It's copyright infringement. That's why you couldn't play a clip longer than 30 seconds.
We would if we could get around YouTube, we would have done it on YouTube. We wouldn't have gone to Patreon. We didn't even want to go on Patreon. Jump Street copyrights are the reason we went on there. I didn't even want to go on there.
Yeah.
I wanted nothing to do with it. We had to. In order to do Jump Street,
You
we
can't
had
drink at 9 a.m., Housey.
No, Bon, everything is great. Those drops are incredible. I don't know how much time you spend. Rip Junior Bridgman, by the way. I know you're all distraught. Junior Bridgman was like a legitimate businessman, like one of the original NBA businessmen. He had these like huge tons. I don't know. He just was like a shrewd businessman when NBA players were not making generational wealth. That's a great reference by you, Josh. I believe you want to get to the Gat Girl business.
I can, but look, I've got a request here from Telly Savalas. Play when he gets pissed at me. Yeah, I can do that. Here we go.
Does he not know that that's from The Simpsons?
That was
No,
Xavier.
I don't give a fuck. He's a loser.
That's him talking about me.
I don't give two shits. I don't give a fuck about Bon Jovial. Some dude with autism that can't get nuances. Fuck Bon. Fuck Bon. Fuck Bon.
Xavier loves Matlock. Xavier loves Matlock. Xavier loves Matlock.
Turn off my mic, please. Come on.
Rick the electrician, just for your edification. Larry David, they claim is George. We go over this on our show all the time. It is not exclusively George. George is a lot of things. George is Larry. George is Mike Costanza, who he looks just like. That's Jerry's friend from childhood. And Larry, a lot of Larry's stories go into Jerry. So there's three, right, Davyd?
Yeah.
George is Larry, Mike Costanza, and there's a third one, right?
I don't care. I honestly don't care. No, I don't give a fuck. Okay. I actually watch Matlock.
There, he said it.
I actually watch Matlock.
And it's the 2-year anniversary of Matlock. So
no, I think it's funny that fucking idiot can't freaking figure out the fucking nuances.
Fucking nuances. There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Nuances get lost on stern people.
Nuances get lost on stern people. Think about that, everybody, for one moment.
Nuances get lost on stern people.
Really?
Does he not know that that's from The Simpsons?
Thank you.
Yeah, that's hurtful.
All right.
Fuck Bon.
You, Josh. Again, we don't want him on Gunk, let alone here. I mean, let's play it for the next 4 hours.
Some dude with autism that can't get nuances.
All right.
Fuck about Bon Jovial. Yeah, I'm surely. Yes, absolutely. It was a reference, idiots. It was a reference, idiots. He's a loser.
Dedicating my listen to Junior Bridgman and Oliver Miller. Thank you, Josh. Rest in peace, Junior Bridgman and Oliver Miller. Oliver Miller was a Zoftig center.
Zoftig, see?
6'9" and a half. Some might say 6'10". 306 pounds.
David, do you even know what Zoftic means? David?
Yeah,
because I don't.
Curvaceous.
Oh, fuck. All right, we could go to Gat Girl, John.
Let me just say this. I'm glad Brendan's on our side. He's not an enemy you want to have. A relentless ball buster. And
yeah, I'll admit that scam was a bad choice of words for your
horrible
Seinfeld watch-alongs. I don't know why I'm as defending my words. Like, when I throw out words, I'd love it if someone went, whoa, when I throw out a word. Like if I said,
I've done that many. Are you that insecure? I have done that so many times, and I will do it. I will actually embellish it now that you said it. I'm going to go overboard with it. I'm going to go overboard with the $5 words. I absolutely have done it. I know I have. Melvin.
No, I do want to come on the Seinfeld when you do the Magic Loogie episode in season 3. That's my favorite of all time.
Boy, Telly Savalas. Telly Savalas got major requests granted right there with you. You just spent 15 minutes granted and a Xavier drop. That's what that's from. Thank you.
And making those drops was an absolute pleasure. Those drops, that wasn't a chore at all. When I made them, I went in and got Xavier's mic on its own.
Yeah.
And I chopped it all up. There was no interference. You can't hear any other voices. That's straight from that pig's throat.
Sarah leaves and the boys immediately start fighting. I know. Sarah runs a tight ship. I know. We're not fighting. How many Fosters has Bond had tonight? Bond, do you get tired of people referencing? It's a great reference, but Americans think that the only beer you drink is Foster's. That there's only one beer.
It's like apparently your beer, the Budweiser, is the worst. That's the disgusting beer. Is that right? That everybody you'd rather drink. When people would say, "I'd rather drink piss than that." That's what Foster's is. That's what's so funny that anybody likes it overseas.
Yes.
I'm still happy with using concertina earlier.
For
I like it that. All right, I'm going to let it go.
For
Xavier's mugshot's going crazy here. Look at this.
Oh God, Matlock's mic should have been turned off years ago.
Look at this. He's going off his brains. And thanks for that $9.99.
Is that his nickname, Matlock? Like officially? Is that the chat's nickname for him, Matlock?
No, it's because I made the calendar. You've forgotten, haven't you?
No. I'm just wondering if that is an actual nickname. Harm, who do you think Larry is most?
No, it's a whole bit. It's a whole bit I created on the show.
No, I know the bit. I'm saying, but is his nickname Matlock? Is one of his nicknames?
One of many. When people call him Cheech Marin and which is racial, you know. Sounds like one. Oh, I'm loving the comments. Continue, John. I'm calming down now. I apologize for the comments earlier.
X's on the show.
Please don't make a mockery of this. Davyd, talk to them, Davyd. They want to hear you. John, I'm driving you crazy, aren't I? I'm going to stop. John, what would you like to go to?
I'm this close to taking away your administrative privileges. I'm this close.
I know. Oh,
you are out of
from
control.
That though, really? Oh
no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Let me get on. Let's play the fucking Gat Girl tribute.
All right, get this shit off the screen.
No more concertina bullshit. Play the Gat Girl.
It's not. It's concertina.
I don't.
He's messing with me, Davyd. Get this stuff off the screen when I play my magical works, please. That's Davyd. Thank you.
Sorry, what?
No.
Are you playing it?
I'm going to get that stuff off the screen. All right. So do you want to tell them why we're playing this?
Gat Girl, one of our favorite pool hall dykes from Radio Gunk, she's made her way back into our lives, thankfully. And from the Lilith Fair, from the softball field to here, and Bon Jovial has a tribute to her with all her favorite things, some of which I sent to him, some of which he found on his own. I'm sure he has audio of her, and God knows what. I remember what I sent to her. And hopefully she comes back on this show, and the tattoo challenge is issued again for me. I have no tattoos, and she offered me a stipend for a tattoo. Let's see what she comes up with. But this is
that's great.
Bon Jovial's tribute to Gat Girl, our favorite tribute,
and I love it. There'll be some weird references in there, and I'll mention them afterwards. And here we go.
You guys are the best looking audience I've ever seen in my life. I am not shitting you.
Who are you?
I'm Roxy. I'm a friend.
Hi. My name's Violet. We heard you working in here, and I was just wondering if you'd like a cup of coffee.
She's Carmen Sandiego.
Classic Cat Girl. Classic DJ. Hey, this DJ.
I think gay marriage is gonna, Jane Lynch is a great example. It's gonna destroy the entire lesbian cult. We should just stay the way we were.
I grew up in a mixture of Jersey City, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic. I was born in Texas.
There you go.
Great.
It's just this.
Oh, that's amazing. That's going to be the new hit disco song. And clubs. Hey, I've seen much worse than that. That was a Mariel Hemingway shot put.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? Oh my God.
That was my nickname for her personal best, that movie, the lesbian movie. That's what I always called Gat Girl. Like when I saw her on the forum, I'd go, personal best, how are you? And I'd put up a picture of personal best, the movie, and she'd like laugh and she'd say like, oh, Mario Hemingway was a real piece of ass back then.
Oh
something
my God,
like that.
I didn't catch that. I didn't even catch that. I didn't know she liked Mario. That's so good. Yeah, Housie, we all do it. That's I've made my share of Labatt's references for Canada. But that's a great reference, though. Just the fact that you know that we need a second Australian beer. Can you play that on the way out, Bon? Just before we get, we got to at least end with it. That was way too good to play once.
She's great, but there's a lot of John stuff in there. John gave me the Michelle Rodriguez
and the X-Men
video and all the cartoons. I guess cartoons an insult, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's
like
well, I wanted, that character Pyro is Australian. So she was throwing him around. She was tossing him around from the Evil Brotherhood. Pyro is that was for you because he has an Australian accent in the animated series. It doesn't matter because your disco song was like amazing. I mean, that was like I could see that working as a song. There's much worse out there, right, Davyd? Even at the clubs you people go to, that would work.
Yeah, definitely. I could get roofied to that. Sure.
Roofied.
Oh, that was the most generic, royalty-free dance music. I thought she'd get a kick out. I just think that she's a funny broad. Like she's back in there with you, John, in 2015.
Yeah, she goes back.
She's there many times in 2015, and she just comes on with so much aggression. She comes on and goes, "Hey, slut," to Monique, and Melita goes, "Hey, bitch," and they have this powwow, and she just. And John, you loved her. Every time she came on, you were just like so excited.
Oh, if I could turn a lesbian, she'd be the one I would do. Like fucking Ben Affleck in Chasing Amy, that'd be the one that I would turn without question. She sounds exactly like Alanis Morissette too. If you listen to her speech cadence and vocal quality,
she reminds me. That's why I put a bit of Courtney in there. She reminds me of Courtney Love, the voice a bit as well. All of that, and just real. She's real blokey, dykey, gorgeous. I bet she's smoking hot, John.
Bound.
You know, I bet she's bound exactly. She's got the. I wonder if she's like she's definitely wearing like the jeans and the dirty work shirt. She's like the butch. I think they call them. I bet. She's great, and she should come on. I hope you consider that, John, because she's so entertaining.
Believe me, I have. To go, Barbara DeRush goes, how great would an idea if I get a Wino Forever tattoo to carry depth? How funny would that be? But Barbara DeRush's idea. Holy shit, that's so funny.
It has our Venmo QR code on it as well.
Rick the Electrician, don't do it. Don't do it. Not having a tattoo is now the new cool. It's like having it's so true. It's like the reverse now. If you don't have one, it's like more rebellious.
It's a pendulum.
Yep. I got your pendulum, pal. Mom is very brave with the headphone monitor. Probably another geek. Like, speaking of McDowell's, I got an announcement that's gonna come up soon. I'll probably tell you guys like off the air about The Sopranos and McDowell.
See, they're McDonald's. I'm McDowell's.
God damn it, I love that. I love James Evans. You talk about the black father. Is there ever been a better, stronger black father than James Evans, John Amos?
Yeah, John Amos, who there was a weird thing with his death because the press didn't find out about his death until like maybe 6 weeks after. Like his children were kind of fighting over the body, or there's something weird with his death when he died last summer.
Did you get this job with a speech impediment?
The great American.
Rick the Electric, I'm turning lesbian right now. She works at the depot. Nobody loves penis more than lesbians that just don't like other parts of men, and we hate men. That's for damn sure. I don't like tattoos.
More for me.
I don't mind tattoos on women, Holden. Initially, I didn't like that. Now, you know who turned me? Angelina Jolie in Tomb Raider turned me on tattoos on women. Now I love them after that. Has there ever been a hotter half nude or non-nude role than Angelina Jolie in Tomb Raider in 2003? It doesn't get any better with the British accent. It doesn't get any better than that. Right, Davyd?
I was gonna mention one in 2002, but no.
Davyd, what was the thing you would after on talk shows that I countered it with Eliza Dushku on Carson Daly. Something on Conan. I forget
God.
who was it.
It was Jonathan Brandis.
That's right. So he's going around YouTube watching Jonathan Brandis videos while I'm looking at. So we said let's compare our history, our computer history, and see which is weirder. All right. So that was brilliant, Bon. She will love that. I mean, it's actually better than I thought it would be. You never disappoint. Like you are
think it
a
was
savant.
that good.
You are film bullshit.
The
only thing not good about it is it could have been longer.
Yeah, I just wish she was. I wish she was here to watch. I told her that we'd try and put it at the top, but I love that girl. She has the spirit of all what we do. She's like, she just doesn't give any Fs. You know?
No. That's funny, Tone Cott. Yes, Pete Davidson then ruined tattoos for me after that. That's very funny. After Angelina Jolie, when's the last? She is in a. Again, this is for another show, whatever. Where is the Brad Pitt Angelina Jolie feud at right now? It is so. I need like Cliff's Notes to follow it. It's never consecutively. It always like pops in and then it goes away.
Right.
It's never like and for the two massive A-list stars, we never fixate on it. And I mean the media. It seems like it should get more attention than it does.
Yeah, I wonder if they're kind of old news. I mean, just not the the events of their life aren't recent, but just people's adoration of them is kind of old news.
The divorce is still going on. Like it's still not settled.
Jeez.
You going to?
That's weird.
That is
right.
Really
Like
weird.
When
There
did
must
the
be
divorce?
issues.
Yeah.
He got
Yeah.
accused of abusing the kids, and then they said it was false, and no one knows, and it's on a plane, and he's hitting Maddox with fucking nunchucks on a private jet, and I have no. And they said it could be true. It's not. I don't know what's going on. It's crazy. And then Brad Pitt's still beloved. So anyway, on to our SNL versus Howard. This is Triumph, the insult comic dog, as played by
love it.
Robert Smigel. Robert Smigel is kind of a genius. What would you call him, guys? Like a humorist? He's not necessarily a comedian. He's just an all-around.
He's a comedy
humorist.
writer. I would call him.
But he does perform, as Triumph, and he's been in sketches, in the Bears sketch and stuff, and when they needed him, and he's just like I feel like he is the Larry David to Conan's Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, that's a good.
That's a brilliant one.
Yeah,
it seems like everything edgy and funny comes from him. And he's been like such a force on Saturday Night Live's Funniest Things. He actually went to the Dana Carvey show with Dana Carvey when that thing ran for that season. It's really good, and it was almost too edgy. It certainly was too edgy for ABC, and they pulled it. But he had and so he comes on, and he roasts the Stern show. And I do this because he came on again during Howard went to fucking Justin Theroux's wedding this week. So like one is want to do, right? Take 3 weeks off for Justin Theroux's wedding. Don't go to your own kid's wedding. Don't go to your limo driver and security's wedding. Don't go to Gary's dad's funeral, but go to Justin Theroux's wedding. What's the connection? Did you know that Justin Theroux was the writer of the screenplay for Iron Man 2?
I didn't know that.
Real?
Most people don't know that. It's right there in the credits. Nobody
I
bothers
thought he
to
was
read.
completely talentless.
And so that's the connection to like Downey and Howard and shit. That's kind of that whole clique he's in.
Right.
And so with Aniston and stuff, you can kind of play 6 Degrees and Jason Bateman and those. By the way, the most overrated podcast ever is that Spineless.
Oh, Smartless.
Yeah.
Spineless.
Why does that get? It's so mediocre.
Yeah.
It makes me uncomfortable.
I think because it hit big during the pandemic when nobody could do anything, and I think they just got not that there wasn't like Mark Maron or other podcasts before that, but like the ass kissing celebrity podcast. I feel like that's one of the first ones.
And
Which
those
one was
three,
it?
Sean
what's the name
Hayes
of
and
it?
Will Arnett, and what a weird. Who gives a shit about those three?
Before you play this, it is interesting that like Howard had the Jackie puppet to like attack celebrities, and Conan has Triumph the Insult Comic Dog to attack celebrities.
Well, that's a great catch by you, because now you gave me a great segue. So we'll go to Conan with Billy West and the Jackie Puppet after we do
perfect,
Robert
yeah.
Smigel coming at them. Okay, so Smigel came back and roasted the Stern Show like this week when Howard wasn't there, and he said some really edgy, red flaggy things that almost makes you think he listened to our show over the years.
Right.
In a way. But this is the original roast. Robert Smigel comes in, I believe, for Howard's birthday. This is like 20 years ago. And roasts Howard. I think it was for his 50th birthday party.
To roast me?
I'm going to poop on you.
I see.
You know, Howard, you and I have a lot in common. We do. I like to take a 4-hour dump every morning, too. Yes. Oh, yes, I kid. Your seconds is actually long for a dog.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you know, but I'm glad you could fit me. Speaking of which, I'm glad you could fit me in.
Yes.
Really. By the way, I said the same thing to your dog, Bianca, when I banged her in the park last week. I didn't bang her. She just gave me oral.
You've got to be a little nervous doing this today, Triumph, because.
By the way, and I had this like whole new respect. How hard is it to deliver this roast? And then you're Robert Smigel and your fucking hands up a puppet's ass,
right?
And you're running around doing this into a microphone.
And you have to hold a cigar in the puppet's
Right.
mouth at the same time.
Oh, that's
And hit all your
the
marks.
problem.
And then hit all your marks. At the same
He's
time.
got a pocket full of them, of the
Right.
cigars, because they just drop out. It's great.
You know, I would imagine when you.
Why, there's no Asian people here. No Korean people.
When you had your confrontation with Eminem, it looked like he was going to punch you or something. Aren't you afraid that I can become violent?
Are you kidding, bitch? Look at you. Matter of fact, when Bianca saw mine, she was like, wow, that's pretty impressive. So that's what a normal-sized penis looks like. By the way, I should mention that when Bianca had an orgasm,
yes,
she yelled out, Benji, Benji. Like the Panther. I haven't.
This is a very lost thing. So this never made it to the E channel. I think I might have got lost in the Howard TV transition. There's another roast he did that did make it, and this one's great. I had the
great, yeah.
This is the ferret. This is some ferret shit.
I love the ferret.
I've Panther like this since I ate a burrito. Listen, the point is, Howard, you actually have one of the biggest dicks in the business. Tom Chiasano.
You're smelling the couch.
Well, there's a lot of history. Remember, I have a sense of smell. I can smell all the hot skanks who've been here.
Right. I got to.
Had so
Yeah, Tata Toothy, thank you. If anybody gets a chance, and I definitely will, I wonder if we could even get a copyright for it. The Dana Carvey Show, which was on ABC like in 1996. It was great while it lasted. I don't know why. She sucks that there's no streaming services, because that easily would have been picked up by one of them today. And we would have had some really, really good stuff.
Definitely.
It went, would it go 8 episodes or something? It was
I
really
think
good.
So. There's a hilarious clip of a promo for the Dana Carvey Show on ABC where they show like it's one of those promos you find where it's like every show they broadcast that night. And it's a they're promoting a home improvement episode where Jonathan Taylor Thomas possibly has cancer. So it's like a very special episode. You know, and the voiceover guy is like, a very special home improvement, followed by the Dana Carvey chicken cutlet show or something.
Yes. They started to lose sponsors, and it would be the Dana Carvey Diet Mug Root Beer show and
right,
Mountain Dew and stuff. It would deteriorate like each week. It's so, goddamn it, it's such a shame that streaming services weren't around back then.
I know.
You're gonna set Melvin crazy because you said the chicken cutlets.
I know.
He's typing right now, I'm sure.
I stand corrected. Thank you, Howsey. The Howard Stern Show is the most overrated podcast.
John,
yes.
Just for Melvin, have you had some chicken? Have you had a special meal lately that you'd like to tell Melvin about? Like in the last week
I
or
did.
so?
I made
Yes.
this is my culinary expertise. I make my own lo mein now because I
Oh.
got sick of being disappointed. So I buy the noodles. I think I remember the big yellow thick noodles they sell. Various stores might have them. You really got to look hard in the some of the like not Costco, but like fucking Restaurant Depot. And
Mhm.
so it's very easy. You boil the noodles for 90 seconds. That's all it takes. You put them in like a Ninja slow cooker and
Mhm.
put it on the lowest setting. Then just a bag of shrimp, peeled shrimp, put it together. And the key to get the oil, probably, I want to say I want to say 8 tablespoons of any oil you want. It doesn't matter what
Okay.
kind of oil. It doesn't matter at
Right.
all. Cabbage, like coleslaw, not a bag of coleslaw, because that's what you use as the subtle vegetables,
Right.
and mix them all together, and you have the reason the Asian, it's called oyster sauce.
Yes.
So oyster sauce and soy sauce together is what makes it like the Chinese can get it. That's why you can't do it at home, because the white devil, the Caucasians, don't know that oyster sauce exists. David, you know what I'm saying? That you got
Yeah.
And
I
so
go.
that
I mean, I go down the Asian spices and sauces aisle of my grocery store regularly. So yeah,
Wow.
I see them. Yeah.
And it's not saying, oh, all Asians are gay. He's just making his own
Gasians,
Chinese food.
right.
Asians, right?
Oh my
So that's my
god.
new thing now is lo mein. And again, I've been doing shrimp is the easiest. So I've been doing
That
shrimp.
was a really respectful thing that gay bars would do in West Hollywood back about 15 years ago. They would have Gaysian night. It was really respectful.
God.
Really ahead of the curve. Yeah.
Thank you, Chubby Pickle. Thank you, Chubby Pickle. This is from Bon Jovial's brilliant work.
Give us your money. Give us your money. Give us your money. Give us your money. You think this shit comes easily? You think ARM spends hours and hours and hours and hours ferreting because he loves it? You think Davyd learns the theme song to Cheers live on the air for his health? And what about the Sarah man? She doesn't want to come on the show anymore, but everybody still loves her. Give her your money. What about Australia? You think it's cheap to broadcast from Australia? It costs hundreds of dollars an hour. Give us your money.
Really quick, thank you, Holden. Right, the Affleck Jennifer Garner thing is even weirder than that. Those two. And all right, thank you, Melvin. The couple finalized their divorce at the end of 2024, 8 years after initially filing for divorce. They were in the process of divorcing for 4 times, as long as the length of their effing marriage. Thank you, Melvin. God damn it.
Jesus.
Oh my God, Barbara DeRush. And it's when the prom king and queen get together, like it's always going to end badly, right?
Yeah, right.
It's just too obvious.
He's a disgusting human.
Has Angelina Jolie hooked up since then, or is she just completely? You talk about hating men. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Yum yum.
She's not a fan of men.
She, after making out with her brother at some award show back in 2000, do you remember that?
Brendan, you're such a cynic. You're such a delicious cynic, but it is better than spaghetti. It's tastier.
Oh,
It's
I
3
love it.
times thicker. It's not spaghetti. It's better than spaghetti. If I could
want
just buy
this-
spaghetti, I'd be the first one to do it. It's better than spaghetti. It's not
I
spaghetti.
want this guy to come on the show, John. I was hassling you about this the other day. Why don't we get your buddy Brendan on the show?
Brendan is very content in that
Oh,
space of like in the comments, in the peanut gallery. He does not want to put himself in this.
You didn't reply to my messages about this because I was also asking you, does he talk like Dice? Like he's like, yo,
No, again,
yo,
you have it
yo, what's up,
No,
man?
no, he's
Yo, man.
He's a subtle, wise ass. No, he's the opposite of Dice. He's the very opposite of yeah.
There's no. Every time I ask if anyone involved with
got
you,
the
sounds
worst
like
people.
Dice, you
My
get
cousin-
angry.
My cousin and Brendan
Anton,
are the opposite. You got the worst people you could
went
possibly compare to Dice.
crazy. I sent
Yeah.
all those messages doing Dice impersonations. I was like, does Anton go, yo, ARM, let's go shoot some basketball rings at the down the road, man. Yo,
That was
what's up? And you went, "Arr!" You replied, you're like, no, how dare you? He's my friend. Arr!
That was a gayer
you
sports commentary than
disrespect him.
Davyd.
Let's shoot some hoops. Yo, cigarette lighter sounds. Yo, what's up?
You-
Yeah, let's go down the park, man.
Basketball anal ring toss. You just happen to bring. I don't know why you put the worst. They are the antithesis.
I know you get. I wish they were though, because I want them all to be like Christopher from The Sopranos, sort of thing, and then none of them are.
You see,
so
here's
what's
where
Brendan talk like?
how's he football?
Does Brendan talk like Davyd?
Brendan, I'm gonna see if I can do a Brendan impression. Goes,
All right.
can I have a drink, Jim? Can I have a drink? Yeah, really, oh, really, Jim? Seriously, better than some barracudas I've seen you with, Brain. Very subtle, very sarcastic. He can be loud when he wants to, but it doesn't happen often.
I was hoping that he was like a lout, as they say.
No,
a troublemaker, an instigator. So he doesn't have a laugh like Woody Woodpecker. There's a Seinfeld reference for you.
He has a good laugh. If you can make Brendan laugh, you're comedically accomplished. He's a very tough.
So if we brought him on the show, he'd just be like, hi.
No. He's just a tough laugh. He's very, very comedically almost pretentious, almost comedically highbrow.
His high standards.
Yeah, very high standards. Right.
Does he know words like Davyd?
Yeah, he's got a very good vocabulary. Definitely.
Words.
Definitely.
That's what I've reduced you to. The guy who knows words. Welcome to Davyd, everybody.
And the Deppening dictionary.
What if Brendan is Davyd? See, Melvin's on a roll. Melvin's high. Melvin's had 15 cans of
What
beer.
if Brendan is Davyd? I think Brendan would like Davyd. I know he would like Davyd. Davyd is the type of guy. I know he would. So would my cousin. My cousin. I can't. I'm trying to broker a friendship between Davyd and my cousin. It's all my cousin now. The ball's in his court. David's there.
Yeah, if he's in, I think we're 20 minutes away from each other, actually. So
how dare you?
Have you got his digits, Davyd? Because you should. Oh, I would love it.
I'm just gonna give Davyd his phone number and see what happens.
And that'd be fine because then you'd be like hanging out down at the ballpark. I may have a barbecue on, and he'd be like, "So Davyd, you like the music, do ya, buddy? Is that what it sounds like, John?"
I just love the idea of starting a friendship with your cousin, and I don't even know what you look like, Arm. Like, not really. That's so funny.
I can show you the pictures Sarah made of John. That's
your stereotypes of how everybody sounds, New Yorkers.
Yeah, they're not good, are they?
If you can do that, then Howsy Football can make all the Foster's jokes he wants to.
Oh, of course, and that's why. Well, there's no way Howsy. We have no control over the Howsy.
No, you can't. You can only contain Howsy. You can only contain him. Here we go.
Who wouldn't like Davyd? He's the salt of the earth.
God. It's impossible.
There's a testimonial live on the show.
Thank you.
What the hell was I going to say?
What are we at? Night.
Just as long as the river finds its way to the sea, as long as the robin sings his song from a tree, that's how long I will love you until eternity.
And forgive me, I'm being a homo here, but what network was Monday Night Football on?
That's a sound drop. That's not Davyd. That was a brilliant sound drop. I
love it that David's there.
Oh,
homo.
I agree with that.
That's so great.
David, Secretary of Education is a great idea. I'm trying to hook up him and Pete Buttigieg. That's the
Break
ultimate
up that
heartbreak,
marriage. Yeah.
right? You got to break up that marriage. You got to do it. Here we go. I hope Pete Buttigieg is our next president. You heard it here first. No, actually, yeah, him and Jasmine Crockett on the ticket. That's my ticket.
Many porn stars and strippers on it. It smells like low tide. it's half velvet, half bacteria. Oh, there's Pamela Anderson. 2003.
He's making all sorts of jokes about strippers on that couch and stuff, and it's like, how could you be a germaphobe?
Right.
And that's what you facilitate, right? That just shoots down all of Howard's fake germophobia.
Yeah, I mean, it's again, I've said this a million times, but he's willing to forego the germophobia if it means getting the men around him to be rock hard.
Yes.
He'd rather be in that environment.
Yes.
Pamela Lee, that's an old one. Angie's like everywhere.
Angie Everhart.
Yes.
She dug you, man.
We went out a little while.
I heard about that. Oh,
I thought I heard that Stuttering John hates Robert Smigel, by the way.
Really?
So I think Smigel took a shot at him in this. I'm trying to remember where it is.
Okay.
And so somebody helped Smigel with this, and I think John was in on it with Jackie was gone by then.
But it's a big day, and I wanted to sniff your butt.
Oh, thank
That's an
you.
honor. But you know what? I couldn't get past Artie's nose and Robin's nose and all the bitches around.
Well, Triumph, I got
Look at all these hangers on. I haven't seen parasites like this since my stool sample.
I got a feel.
I love that Smigel stays consistent with the dog. He's playing the character of the
Right.
dog, so he makes stool sample jokes as the dog.
Like, your knees are hurting you right now.
Are you talking about the Jew up my ass? Don't worry about it.
Are you talking about the Jew up my ass? Don't worry about him. Welcome to Tamara Francois. Tam
Oh,
Fran's in the
Tamara.
house. She knows more about Adam Ant than I do, and that's white people shit, right? Adam Ant is white people shit.
White
She
people
knows
nonsense.
so much about music.
Don't worry about him.
Triumph.
And she had the flu. The
I'm sorry.
pharmacologist had the flu. That is quite an irony. I blame the state of Texas and all their non-vaccinated reprobates, Tamara. That's what I blame.
And I can't play the song tomorrow. I tried to make the song and we got all this copyright, so I can't do the songs on this show anymore.
We got to find
I'm
her.
so disappointed.
That's okay.
Put it on
These other bitches
Patreon
are
and
worthy
then
of it
no
because I
one will
have
hear
poop
it.
material for them.
Oh, yes. Go ahead and poop on that.
I know, it's a little old. I'm sorry.
All right. What is your
Archie
accent?
Lang, what's that?
I said, what is your accent?
Look at that guy.
Horatio Holden brings up an old animated series from Saturday morning cartoons. It had the ABC versus CBS versus NBC, and they had the cartoons compete against each other in the Laugh Olympics.
Yeah.
Right? Is that what you're talking about, Holden?
Wacky Races is a Hanna-Barbera cartoon, right?
Are they different Wacky Races and Laugh Olympics?
Because Wacky Races has like Muttley and Penelope.
Yeah,
Pitstop and stuff. Okay, yeah.
How
that's
you
right.
know Muttley, I have no idea.
How do you know Muttley?
I don't know.
Muttley, that's an English show. The pigeon, John, and the medals.
Muttley's a dog.
It's a dog.
It's the dog.
It's a dog. It's a
Yeah,
cartoon,
the dog that wanted the medals. Isn't that the dog?
I think so. I mean,
The
I
dog that
barely
could
remember
fly
the
with
show.
the tail.
Oh, you
The
talking
ta-
Underdog?
No, I'm talking about
okay.
Muttley. Does
It
anyone
might
in
be
the chat?
different. It might be different. We have a Muttley who's a dog, and it's just like a sniveling
isn't-
dog.
All the
the dog-
Hanna-Barbera cartoons kind of blend together for me.
Yeah,
quite
they do.
honestly,
They
so.
do. It's been a long time. They're
They chase
really
the
old now.
pigeon. Isn't that the show? The cartoon?
You might be right, Bon. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
They're trying
Artie
to
does
catch
laugh
the
like
pigeon. All right, I'm
Artie
gonna
laughs
stop.
like Muttley. Chubby Pickle's absolutely right.
yeah.
Artie's laugh is exactly like Muttley's. He probably developed it by watching Muttley, I bet.
Yeah.
Is
Everybody
that the
laughs.
dog that goes fucking
No,
like that?
Scooby Doo.
No, oh, it is. Jesus, it's too early.
That's okay. That's okay.
The
Look at that
chat
loser.
will
He's so
have fun with that one, I
Hookers
guess.
charge him double. I kid. Artie has a very hot girlfriend, which is even more amazing than the talking dog. Artie, it's great to see you in between rehabs, honestly. You know, I know Artie has another vice. He likes to bet a lot.
Yeah. Yes,
But you know what? The biggest gamble Artie ever took was trying to climb a flight of stairs without a spotter. I saw the movie you did with Norm Macdonald.
Yeah.
Actually, Norm rented it to me.
That's brilliant.
You're poison, my kid. The offers.
You do Triumph?
Yeah, is that not a horrible idea? 90 minutes of this crap? You know what? Just to make sure it's a bomb, I want to have Artie play my fat sidekick.
Do you,
Not like you know, you pulled it off in private parts.
Thank you.
You really did.
Yes.
Is that what Xavier is trying to do? Like a Triumph knockoff with whiskers? Do you think that's what he's trying to do?
Maybe, but gee,
Is that
Davyd, any
possible?
thoughts?
No thoughts.
I don't know. I'm just
I
throwing it
think-
out there.
You know, you pulled it off in private parts.
Does he not
Thank
know
you.
that that's from
You
The
really
Simpsons?
did.
Yes.
In private parts.
Thank you.
You really did.
Yes.
Kidding who?
I didn't
You
know.
call yourself an actor? My piss stream has more range than you.
Wow.
Back
Do you call yourself an actor? I should have made this. I should have amped the volume up. I didn't know it was this soft.
Is
No,
he
it's
not in
actually
studio?
perfect.
No, it's not perfect. It's perfect for you.
It is. I'll prove it to you after the show.
Go ahead, Davyd. What?
Is Robert Smigel not in studio? He sounds like he's on the street.
Oh, he is in studio. He is.
Oh, he is.
He is.
Okay.
He is. Well, welcome, Okashi. Haven't seen you in a while. Welcome. We saw Jeremy Harrison up there too before. I just wanted to say hi.
Suno Okashi.
Yep.
you
Says
are
his
the
name.
box office
Said it.
poison. Seriously, the poop I made in your green room has more heat than Artie Lang. Howard, you have so many losers in this room. You know, you say that you're ugly,
Right.
and maybe you're a little,
Right.
but part of your genius, and there's a lot of genius here, but part of your genius is to surround yourself with people much uglier. You know, a girl checks out the E! Show, you know, and she sees Artie and Papa Booey and Stuttering John, and she's like, she looks at you and she's like, hey, who's the guy who's not hideous? Who's the hottie with the tolerable features?
Triumph.
Howard, that you keep robbing it in that glass booth.
Right.
You know, because I'm going to get blamed for any fart smell.
Right.
It's not right. She heard about your colonics. That's a medical miracle that Robin is doing colonics, because usually when you get the colonic, the crap comes out of your ass. Hey, come on, Robin. Where would you be without these guys? You'd be on the street selling your kid to Rosie O'Donnell for money.
Triumph.
Yes?
You have attacked everyone, I think. Oh, no, Stuttering John, you didn't say
Oh, this is great.
John, you know, he's the one guy. If you didn't have a show, he would actually be a big rock star.
Right, that's right.
But this is better, you know. He's getting to do his first love, screening phone calls.
That's so true, Triumph.
Stuttering John, you know, the only two things he can't say without stuttering are Howard Stern's show and I left my wallet home.
You know him very well.
You really?
Has anyone's first love when they were a kid screening phone calls? That is such a good joke. His first love of screening phone calls.
You know the show well.
I know you know, the show is very big for dogs.
Is it?
We're the only ones that can hear when Fred talks. Humans hear him just sitting there like a corn in a crab nugget, you know?
Right.
But my sensitive ears, they can hear. Oh, God, don't piss off Howard.
But Triumph.
Don't piss off Howard. No, that's Fred.
Oh, that's Fred.
Fred's like, I don't want to end up like Jackie. By the way, Howard.
Yes.
Jackie says hi. I see him once in a while in the supermarket because we eat the same dog food.
A silly move for him to leave the show, right?
It was a silly move, you know. Why can't he?
I went to Jackie's supermarket quite a few times on my way home from Bayville and Sag Harbor, called Oyster Bay. It is Stop and Shop on Route 106 North. almost in between Oyster Bay and Bayville. That's definitely where Jackie shops. This is not a question. That's where Jackie shops.
And take all your crap for the rest of his life like Gary here. Poor kid deserves it. I met him in backstage. Get a mint. Oh. I'm the one who's supposed to have dog breath.
Yes.
Howard, I'm pretty much done. I just want to end up with one thought.
Thank you.
Howard, don't worry about getting older. You know, just remember, you're not getting older. You're just getting closer to catching Beth in bed with a younger guy.
All right. So Robert Smigel, that's cut 2. Thank you, A. Smith. Can the Wino Forever staff please make sure Miss Sarah gets her checks in the Gmail? This is a gift. Wow. Sarah has some major super fans. Thank you, A. Smith. Chubby, you're right. I've been there a time or two looking for the joke. But oh my God. So Chubby, actually, you've been to Stop and Shop on Route 106? Are you kidding me? This guy is, I don't think there's a human being alive that has more eclectic miles than the Chub Man does.
Totally, yeah.
How
He's
do you
everywhere
know
need him to
that?
be. That's crazy.
Holy shit. So cut to today, and we have Robert Smigel roast the horrible new staff in person, but he does it when Howard's not in studio. So there's not a chance he'd be allowed to do that if they were there. So this is what he does to them. This is like red flag stuff in a lot of ways. He didn't bring up the Pelican Brief, but he might as well have.
Okay.
The Howard Stern Show in New York
Classic
City.
ARM.
I was following the scent of poorly wiped assholes, and this is where it led me. Poorly.
Okay, that's the only thing I couldn't understand. Debbie,
Thank
could you see
you.
what he said? I was following the scent of what assholes? I couldn't.
Did you say horny?
Okay, was it horny? Okay, thank you.
Let me hear it again, but yeah, I think that's it.
Poorly wiped ass.
Poorly
the scent
wiped.
of poorly wiped.
Poorly wiped.
Yeah.
Poorly white?
Yeah.
Wiped.
Okay, poorly wiped as in wipe your ass. Okay. I didn't
Just keep it
I
on this though. Look
Scent
at their
of
little.
poorly wiped assholes, and this.
Look at that.
You want to see this, Bob? So this is that.
Yeah, I love
this
this.
is
I
the
always
call
love
center.
this.
Howard's
Look
not
at
here
this.
this week, but they're working. If you want to call this work,
Yeah.
and he makes a comment. This is like, look at the white people. Look at the lack of diversity on this show. Like I said, in all the time they've been on the show, Robin is the only, and I don't consider her black. And we don't. Rasan's and I look at this. Look at this. That's not even
What
ever.
year?
This is not. This is current. This is this week. Howard's at Thoreau's wedding. It's this week.
I love how all of them like are on their brand new tablets, but they still have the 2005 Dell computer monitor.
Yeah, right. Here's you gotta consider this too. Conan has a bit of juice at Sirius now.
Yeah.
So they can't really tell him what, like, the Howard being a partner doesn't matter to this. So Smigel can kind of do whatever he wants because I think this is affiliated to Conan's channel.
Yeah.
So they can't tell him what to do, kind of. So Smigel got to go crazy here.
Yeah, and I bet that's true. That's an interesting turn of events. Like Conan is, because of his Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend podcast, and just I think a better show business career, has more he's kind of revitalized people knowing what Sirius XM is because he got that deal at Sirius. You know?
Even though he's only 10 years younger than Howard, it's still
Right.
at least a generation. Conan thinks he's younger than that too, if you think about it. Like, doesn't he act
Yeah.
like he's sort of age? When he went to TBS, like he's this
Yeah,
hip
he
young
thinks he's a
guy, but he's
millennial, right.
55.
Right.
Yeah, Chubby, I might leave that up this entire time. Is where the brother's at. What Chubby puts here.
Assholes, and this is where it led me. This is incredible. Everywhere you look, there's photos of Howard. Saddam Hussein had less photos of himself. Hey, I wonder if the staff is supposed to avoid direct eye contact with the photos of Howard, too.
Oh my God.
You cannot either he
That was
listened to our
amazing.
show or he read the gossip on that eye contact. It was an article on the eye contact stuff, which Howard
Yes.
really would hit him hard. So he must have just went after that. There's no way. I'll say it again. Howard is not in studio, so he's
Yeah.
able to make all these. There's no way he likes that.
Also,
There's
he
no
made that
way-
joke in front of nobody. So
in
it's
front of
like,
nobody.
Right.
Right.
So he
Right.
got away with it.
he goes to the staff and he roasts the staff, and they're trying to like they have like a fake grin on their face because I feel like they think they're gonna get in trouble. Watch this.
Yeah.
Okay, no, go ahead, Debbie.
Well, they also want to look like they are in. They don't want to look humorless too in front of.
Of course, they want to look like they have some sense of humor about themselves,
right?
And a couple of them do, but most of them don't, and certainly Howard doesn't, and certainly Marcy doesn't. We don't see Marcy, of course. He actually doesn't bring Marcy up. I was hoping he would, and they don't.
I'm just one question. The picture framed at the top right. It's Howard, and who else do you think? Like, who did Gary deem worthy to frame?
Who's in the middle there? You got anything on that? It's really hard to see that.
Do you think it's Springsteen since it's Gary?
It's Bruce. You got it. You got it. That's Bruce. That's because he looks atrophied. That's Bruce. That's definitely 70-something-year-old. That's Bruce. It is, and I love Bruce Springsteen. Again, he couldn't like be a better entertainer at that age.
Right.
And it's amazing that he still even cares to tour and stuff, and he moves around. I mean, it's amazing. He really
the East Street Band poster behind Gary. Do you see that there?
Yeah, you got it. There's no question that's Bruce. That's definitely, unless it's Ross Apin.
I love Gary Delabate, Howard and Beth's first rescue pet. So let's get intimate, Gary. You never talk about your childhood. Is that because you no longer speak to the man in the big yellow hat? Don't bare your teeth at me, Gary. Oh, sorry, that's just how you look. I read his wonderful bio, and so did 2 other people. A lot of facts about you I didn't know. You love your records, such as the one he has for most teeth in a single mouth. I'm standing outside the bullpen, where a dozen writers are hard at work, coming up with different words for penis and vagina. It's a veritable who's who of who's going to be my Uber driver in 6 months. It looks like a kill shelter for fat white guys. I'm so proud.
A kill shelter for fat white guys. How great is that?
God. So this is 2016.
No, this
15?
is today.
This is this week.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No
they
way.
He got in there. This is Howard's on vacation. He's at Thoreau's wedding.
By the way, if you go
changes everything.
Sorry, if you go back like to the wide shot of the whole room, that new guy who like is basically a rich guy who retired to be on the Howard Stern show is
Jonathan Blitt.
Jonathan Blitt is just staring at the camera the whole time.
I know.
Fuck him. Oh,
all
so
of them.
bad.
All of them. This is.
Oh,
you got to remember,
so
Robert
bad.
Smigel worked on how many shows where there's like legitimate people in a comedy room doing shit that and he sees this.
Right.
He's gotta be
That's right.
like, he's got to be like, I cannot wait to shit on this. What is this? Is a writer's room?
There's no vibe. It's battery
This is such an
hand
easy-
vibe.
Yeah.
It's
There's no energy.
garbage.
There's no charisma. There's no. Yeah. There's no There's no brainstorming. This is what they're all huddled away
Of
and.
Jason Kaplan. You know, Jason used to be morbidly obese, but after years of hard work and diet.
Oh my
God damn it.
God. I
Right?
can't even look at that. Oh, that doesn't look right.
Years of hard work and dieting.
The move is you put the purple shirt on the fat guy and you got Grimace big time, right? You switched that.
Yeah.
What are they thinking?
But after years of hard work and dieting, he's now just ugly. Look at that smile. Give me that smile. It's
Does Jason look like he's afraid he's going to get in trouble here? That's not a genuine
they
laugh.
all do.
Nervous
I mean,
laugh. Yeah.
What's interesting about this
It'd be
is
scary.
so far none of them can respond verbally. Like Gary didn't respond with any words. They're not. It's like they're 5-year-old children who are afraid to talk to grown-ups. You know, they just laugh inanely.
I think they have a gag order on talking back to him.
That could be it too.
But I don't even think Howard knows. I'm not even sure Howard greenlit this. That he actually was able to do this because Conan has juice at Sirius.
Right.
And he just got in there and they like, I don't care. I'm going to Justin Thoreau's wedding.
The Stern staff is kind of caught between a rock and a hard place where they want to be loyal to their boss, but Conan's the new kid on the block, you know. So they
don't want to look humorless,
right?
So they let him in there. And Smigel has a history with the show, and they go, no. But again, he's never one to hold back in this Triumph character whatsoever. So
great to see where the old Cleve.
They look terrified, right, Bon?
This is a lot better, though. Like, do you remember John Davyd, like maybe 3 years ago, he went in and did one like this?
Yeah.
And it was so bad.
Yeah.
No,
It wasn't funny at all. And I can't remember. I think it was at Christmas or something like that. Like,
Didn't he do a whole interview as Triumph? Wasn't that it, Bon? Like he was Triumph the whole time, and it's like, how can you sustain that for more than like 15 minutes at the most?
Maybe you're right. And it wasn't. It was just a few years ago. It was so bad. It didn't work at all. We've got to get that. We've got to get it.
It's kind of like the Ali G thing, where your character takes over your actual person. You know, who are we talking about? And the Ali G thing drops, and then Sacha Baron Cohen comes. There's a lot of people like that. Where the Martin Short, right, and fucking what's his name, Jiminy Glick.
Jiminy Glick. Well, and even Sacha Baron Cohen came into the Stern Show as like Bruno for a whole hour, and that was like cringy as all get out. So it doesn't work. Yeah.
Rick the Electrician says, I'm part of the Sarah fan club. She has that sexy yet mouthy librarian thing going on. I find that hot. Like, at me, look over the top of your glasses, bitch, and I'll love you forever kind of way. Or is that just me?
I don't know many mouthy librarians. But
as a little girl, I had so much hope for the She-Ra arc.
Oh my God. Holden says, I got half a woman with black glasses too. I'm part of the Sarah fan club. How's your football get on me? Okay, here we go.
Cleveland Indians mascot.
Cleveland Indians. Chief Wahoo. That's for you, Davyd. Chief Wahoo.
He knows I'm
for the old Cleveland Indians mascot. Chief Wahoo.
That's real
no, he doesn't look like an Indian. Seriously, you look like someone had 5 seconds to quickly draw.
Look at Jason with Lexapro face. You see the crazy eyes there? What was that?
He looks concerned. He looks very concerned.
He looks concerned. Look at this.
Like an Indian. Seriously, you look like someone had 5 seconds to quickly draw a Jew. They told me you have a wife and a small child, but now that I've met you, I realize that those are the same person. Look at how tough this guy is. He'd be perfect for MMA if only he could spell it. See, because you appear
is that
to be
Will
stupid.
In the background?
Yeah, Will's in the background. He goes after him too.
Will Murray and Jason are sitting in that room
and
at this point in their career.
I know.
Wow, man.
It's so true.
They deserve an office, like a little office, but an office. God.
Another Jew gene, Mike Perlman.
This is really messed up. Like, is John Hine in there as well, John?
Yes, he gets him too. You'll like that.
Only the Howard Stern show would have a head writer who looks like Teen Wolf with feline AIDS. I want to congratulate.
He makes a head writer joke to Will, which doesn't come out much.
Have a head writer who looks like Teen Wolf with feline AIDS. I want to congratulate Howard for adding so much diversity to your staff. You got 1 gay guy, 2 women, and whatever the fuck John Blitt is. If I may ask a personal question.
Great diversity.
Who is that?
This is their female Samantha, who they call Smoke.
They've actually got a girl in there with the boys. Aren't they scared of doing anything like that now?
She's a Syosset 7 at best.
What does that mean?
What kind of birth control?
I can tell.
Samantha Fontana, everyone. Samantha Fontana.
Yeah. She's really boring. I remember they played clips
Very
of it.
boring.
She just.
Yep.
By the way, Gary and Mike Perlman both had there's a lot of subliminal Clorox in this office to keep up with the fake germ phobia mandate of the
God, that's a great observation. I was thinking that too. You see the Clorox wipes on fucking Perlman's desk? That's exactly right. They all pretend to be germaphobes.
Gary too. He had the sort of plastic container of wipes behind
Great
him.
catch,
Yeah.
David.
Oh, they're giving it.
Controller you want? An IUD or interacting with Gary every morning? Everyone knows John Hine.
Here's Chuck. Here's John Hine. Watch this.
Hine, the creator of the famous Jump the Shark website. Have you ever considered jumping rope? Is it true that you take your burgers plain because your body secretes its own mayonnaise? Always great to see Dr. Frankenstein's first try. Judging from the smell, I'm now in the anus of Stern headquarters.
Look at Sal's fucking hair plugs.
Oh no, this is. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I don't want this to end. This is
no,
incredible.
You never want it to end.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
They've got a little look at this. That can't be real bricks in a.
Well,
studio.
no, that's the same office when Richard streaked. Remember, he put on like Sal's jacket or something, and Sal was yelling at him like, "Take off my jacket!" And they were in that office, so they redid it with like some brick overlay, and you know, it's not real. It's just like a wallpaper or something.
Do you see Richard's hairline? That's what Sal's hairline should be.
Right.
So Sal had these insane hair plugs. Sal's about as close to vanity as Howard's as there is. He is insanely like no. I mean, I can't. He might be worse than Howard. Now I don't know if it's possible, but that Sal has a hairline that should look like Richard's. That's all hair plugs. Sal's hair.
Meanwhile, he's got like a 35-year-old Conan O'Brien like bouffant front to his bangs, you know, like a bump in his bangs and everything. Yeah.
Half the people in this room will be fired when Howard and Marcy find out about this video. I mean, they posted it. I'm pausing it a lot. I don't want to get any semblance of a copyright, so we're giving it, what do they call it? Transformative commentary.
Yes.
Right now, as it
but
were.
Also, it's again like nobody has talked back. Like, you know, we were two people in, and I was like, maybe someone will kind of give it back to Triumph. No one has talked yet. Maybe Sal and Richard will. Maybe they feel like they have
what's stopping them from
right, exactly.
Right. Look at Sal with the gallon hand sanitizer to his left, by the way. Right. To be like Howard.
Richard and Sal's office.
My name's Richard Christie. I do prank calls.
Okay, is God pranking you with that voice? You look like an aborted baby who fell into the Ninja Turtle ooze.
I love the Ninja Turtles. That's an honor.
Very interesting fact about.
Look at Sal's hair. Look at his screen, Vaughn. What do we got on that screen? Is that like an audio table with kind of mixing board?
That's Pro Tools on the laptop. That's Avid Pro Tools. Most people industry standard, so that's what you get if you go to a recording studio generally. So he's doing something, but these guys don't even do any new calls now. That's what's so weird.
And they're clearly fake. Like we know now. Right. I have so many receipts that they're fake. I have no idea what the point of them is on this show. Boy, I mean, Davyd are the greatest thing. Like, these two should have hit the ejector seat. You know, guys, what would you say? Like when Artie left, then could have pursued the podcast, right? And then they missed the whole explosion. They have to every day. They have to be going. We missed the podcast explosion. We could be.
No, but it wouldn't. They would have ended up like surely on here. It wouldn't have worked because it
would have been earlier. I'm talking about earlier. I'm talking about way earlier. I'm talking about if they did it like in 2009 or something, 2010.
But they didn't have the content. I don't think they could have made it
I
work.
Agree. I think that
I wouldn't have listened to it either. But I'm saying they think that now. They see everybody like really
in their eyes. Yeah, I thought you were saying that they should have. But
Bond, that's a really
they made
good
the right
point.
Decision.
No, Bond makes a really good point where it's like we always talk about how they should have left and caught on to the podcast and YouTube boom, but they have no content. I mean, even together.
What would their show
be? Exactly. They're so comedically different. You know,
they can't host a show for 2
or
3 hours.
Long form, right? What would
no way
be? It would be a mess. Billy Mira coming on doing shitty fucking hackneyed Ozzy Osbourne and David Lee Roth impressions.
Yeah, but you're right though, John. Sorry, go David.
I was just going to say that they're only good for their anger. They're only good for John Hine or Gary to sort of set them up to be angry on the wrap-up show and just, you know, give them enough rope to hang themselves with like a racist comment or with a, you know, revealing something about a staff member. They're only good for the soap opera aspects of the Howard Stern show.
Yeah, and their shtick gets tired. I mean, they're kind of 1 and 2 trick ponies. They can't speak in long form. They can't have like a, you know, repartee that you'd care about in any way, shape, and form. And yeah, what they do does not translate to long form commentary and podcast.
You're right though. They probably do think that they should have left.
That's
how stupid they are.
To be part of the show, you have to be you have to have delusional hubris.
Right.
That could go to people like Mehmet as well, who think, gee, I should have left, you know, 8-7 years ago. I could have been a famous podcast now. No, none of you can. You'd be just like Shirley right at the end of your rope now. just
You have to
trailing
have,
shit.
with podcasts, you have to either be famous enough where people just care about you and all your self-indulgent bullshit, and you're sitting there talking about yourself, promoting yourself, whatever, and people just show up regardless. You don't even have to, or you kind of doing what we do, where we have a product, we have a specific bailiwick that we stay in. We don't just sit here and dilly-dally. What would they do? What is their thing? You know what I mean? What would you'd have to tune in to see them. So
They'd
what's
have to
the
talk
product?
about news and current affairs, and they're just not smart enough to swing that.
They're
Like
not.
we can go into that. Like we can play a bit of Rosie going to Ireland and comment on that, but they couldn't do that. And that's pathetic. They should be able to, being
Well,
on the
even-
air for so long.
They couldn't even do like a Theo Vaughn or like Cumtown type of
No.
podcast either. They're
He's
not that
an
talented.
overrated motherfucker too. I
Yeah.
can't believe some of these guys that got traction. You know, you have to have some. What is your area of expertise? What do they? You know, the writer thing where they go, write what you know, do what you know, do what you love, and you'll be successful. What is it that they love? What is it they do? What is it? What do they? What's their strength? I don't know.
I think for Sal, it's that, you know, whatever he thought Howard was, it sort of validated his anger towards women or his anger towards black people or his anger. You know, Howard validated a lot of Sal's hatred when he was younger.
Yep.
And I think that's, you know, exploiting that when he started working at the show and just showing, you know, Howard really pulled the rug out from under Sal because, you know, when Sal was hired, that's when Howard had to start becoming a little bit more politically correct to endear the celebrities.
Right.
And now Sal's left holding the bag. Like, well, what the fuck? I was hired to do all the politically incorrect stuff that I learned to do from your show, or so I thought I did. You
I'm
know?
going to use, in other words, correctly here. So what Davyd is saying, in other words, Sal has tailored and crafted his own personality around what he thinks Howard wanted in 2004. And now he's held on to that personality. And Howard has, and I use this term in the worst way, evolved into a celebrity obsequious ass kisser. And like Davyd just said, Sal's left holding his personality from 2004
Right.
that he thinks Howard wanted.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have a personality of his own.
And has no outlet for it anymore.
Right. And there's
you
no
know,
outlet for it. Right. What do you do with this now in this landscape? What do you do with it?
Sal, he believes he can contact the dead.
right.
Yes. Have you spoken to your job prospects? What is it you do here?
I'm a writer. I do impressions.
This guy annoys me in a different way. Because I think he thinks he's a step above the rest of the stuff. I think he thinks he's with the guitar and the fucking Alex show. I think, and he's so cute and he's smiling and I think he got married and divorced like in 4 weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
This guy annoys me.
This is the first time I've seen half of these people, by the way, that I'm putting faces to names. But it is kind of
very
like,
self-satisfied too. Look on his face.
right. But that's what Truly was too, where he thinks he's on Howard's side, like thumbing at Richard and Sal, like, oh, look at these guys.
Yes.
They're not like cool like us.
In his mind, they're beneath him. I know,
Right.
and some of them are, but that doesn't matter because you're not going anywhere after this.
I make
Oh,
puppets.
yes, impressions. Right now he's working on one called Guy Who's Comfortable Making Eye Contact. It's not quite there yet. Excuse me. I love that no pube smell. This is very exciting. This is JD Harmeyer, who is kept in a glass booth. Where do I put the quarters in to make him dance? Anybody? How much is it to make him borderline interesting? $20? I feel like Jodie Foster talking to Hamburger Lecter. I noticed the glass doesn't fog up with you inside. Is that because your soul is dead?
Wow.
Times like this, yes. Okay, good. Happy to help. By the way, he's single, ladies. Unless you count the
God, that's what we say.
Oh my God.
Huh?
That's so good.
Wow.
Oh my God.
So he is above everyone else because he has his own little room there. And I guess that's because he's playing back audio and video all the time, maybe. And he doesn't want to wear headphones or whatever. And isn't that weird? He's got a picture of Private Parts, a whole movie poster on the left there. That would irritate the hell out of me to have to look at that.
There's
This is
just nothing worse than
amazing.
this show. There's nothing worse
I'm
than this show.
so
There's nothing worse than
proud of you
JD.
for ferreting this, John. I can't believe it just came out. I
I didn't
didn't.
really fair. I mean, it just came out, and it's so timely because he's such an integral part of Saturday Night Live.
Right.
And you have this, and I can compare and contrast the roasts and stuff. It's amazing. I mean, we have, Howard's fixation on JD. I say this all the time, and that's why I kind of like insist that we don't cover him unless it's completely negative. And Howard's fixation on JD is one of the worst things to ever happen to the show. And it's
Yes.
this kind of like, it's not even punching down. It's just lazy ass to fixate on things and to fixate on his life. And it gives Howard an excuse to be really lazy. He's not interesting. He's not,
Whackpacker. It was
Yep.
just like JD could have been on the phone calling in as a whackpacker.
The worst part is the staff, in order to try to get on the air, fixate on JD as well. So to get Howard's attention, they fixate on him. So it's been compounded by the rest of the staff who are all air whores that fixate on him. He's the worst thing to ever happen to the show, along with Ronnie.
And he is in the middle, as Bon says, like the sort of line of staff to whackpackers is a gradient. It is there are some people who are working there who you could do double duty as a whackpacker, but you also are an employee of 112 Productions.
Yep.
Yes. JD is the epitome of that for sure.
The memory foam pillow he cut a hole in. This is exciting. I'm here in Howard's studio. Howard, if you're listening.
That was a pretty clever masturbation joke. A memory foam pillow that he cut a hole in. That's like a body pillow joke. That's pretty good.
You are still the best interviewer, and I use this term loosely, alive. I'm standing outside the booth where Robin quivers.
Okay, so they're not there.
Right.
They're off. So Robin and Fred are both not there, and he's roasting them with them not being there.
Booth where Robin quivers, pretends to enjoy herself. It must be hard to laugh at all of Howard's jokes, and even harder not to laugh at his guitar playing. His guitar playing reminds me of Jimi Hendrix because it makes me want to choke on my own vomit. I'm here with...
You can't tell me that they greenlit that, because apparently Howard's still going with this, and that's the first time he's been shit on with this almost guitar blackface, right? We should call it, to bring up Jimi Hendrix there. And that they're clearly not there. This is very, very current.
The great Fred Norris sits. It's kind of hard to believe Fred's still here. Have these guys not heard about AI? It can do everything Fred can do, except with personality.
Oh, brutal.
This is what we say all the time, and this is like Bon Jovial is like 500 times better than Fred,
right?
And then he's saying, I mean, like that's not like, oh, ironic. That's the truth. That is the real deal. There's not a stitch of exaggeration or hyperbole in that. That is 100% true, and that is not something you like go, yeah. If I'm running a company and I'm serious about the almighty dollar, the first thing I'm doing is kicking him to the curb. And that is a true study.
Replacing
him with AI or Bon Jovial at 1/30th of his salary.
Right.
I had a great time at the Howard Stern Show. I've never felt thinner or less sexually deviant. Thank you, Howard, and all the losers you hire. You have a great staff. For me to poop on? Oh, this is good.
Good for me, too.
Oh, yes.
Oh, triumph.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, what an honor.
The older guys won't let me do that. There you go. Oh, yes.
Good boy.
Ooh,
Okay, who
careful,
wants diseases galore?
I know. And it's
on
on
a
tape.
girl.
And it's on video.
I have to say, I could see, there's been 10 plus years of Howard hater podcasts and message boards and
Longer
Reddit
than that,
posts.
Davyd.
Yeah.
So this goes back. I'm right at the beginning of it. So Stern Fan Network morphed into Dog Shed, and really, so Artie leaves in the winter of 2009, going on 2010. We start fully hating the show, I want to say just a little bit after that.
Okay.
So you're looking at 11, 10 is when everything started to turn.
Yeah, so my point is, I could see an E-list celebrity like Robert Smigel discovering shows like ours, you
Yeah.
know, and sort of, you know, looking into the leads that people bring up on the shows and using them as material when he does this, especially now that he's emboldened by the fact that Conan is, you know, overshadowing Howard in terms of giving serious visibility in the marketplace.
Or just having a show that has passion,
Right,
or some
that's right.
semblance of hip energy or something,
Right.
A host that cares. You know, at the same time, that entire roast is totally true. Like, it's, oh, he's just kidding. No, everything he said is like
Everything's true.
100% true.
That's right. Exactly.
That's not like some irony. Oh, he really likes the show. No, he thinks the show sucked. Everything he said, he means it. That's
Yeah.
not, you can dismiss it as a
Even-
roast, or it's everything he said is true.
Even calling them sexual deviants feels
That's
like
what they
something
are.
that was said. Well, but it feels like something that was said on this
human
show.
resource out of any other company. They'd be fine in
Right.
10 seconds.
Definitely. Yeah.
Andrew Jenkins, welcome. King, welcome, sir. So you guys ready to see Conan on in the early days when his
Yes.
NBC show first started? You know, we've played this a few times, like bits and pieces of it, but this is the Jackie puppet, Billy West as the Jackie puppet attacking Conan. And Conan's show was, he comes on to promote it. Lorne Michaels will not relent, giving him this. Initially, this offer went to Gary Shandling, Dana Carvey, Bob Costas. I'm forgetting somebody big in there too. Somebody else.
Beautiful
What's the big
room
one?
you have here.
You like it? You
It's
like
really
a little
fantastic.
little pictures of Howard around the room?
I have that one at home.
Guys, this is 30 years ago. You believe that?
Wow.
30 years ago.
Actually.
Do you frame it also?
Yes. Yes.
Hey. Hey, how are you?
Telly Savalas is probably the premier, again, Theo Kojak, Xavier hater, as we bring up Matlock, because he can listen to Bond play Xavier clips all day. And that was for him. That is when you can't get enough.
What's up, man? How you doing?
What you do?
Shaved it.
So there's John with a shaved head.
What was old anyway? I apologize.
It's the gag. It's the gag.
No, it's not a gag.
This is for bloopers and
No,
bloopers.
no. Oh my goodness, we gotta get rid of this thing.
Why? This is good.
But it's never been, you know. Oh my God! No, because it's never been put.
This
down.
is all for the E show.
No, I swear. I apologize. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry that this thing isn't even anchored down.
Aussie football is a good point about Richard and Sal. Richard and Sal actually the only two with actual experience in the real world besides it. Richard is an accomplished musician, is an electrician. Sal is a stockbroker. They're the only two that'll be okay after this. Yeah, well, I don't know about that, but they definitely had real world experience, without a doubt. I think the entire financial world might. I don't think Sal's exactly, CNBC. That's passed him by. I think the boiler room prank calls of a retired school teacher in Iowa is yesteryear.
I swear. No, it's very nice.
Well, good to see you.
I feel like Tim Conway. Hi.
I just realized Conan's going to be here any minute.
We just had something really, really terrible happen. Luckily, we.
You got to remember the state of mind Howard's in right now. He thinks he should have every talk show on television.
Right.
He had the failed Fox pilot, so he sees these guys come on, and he really deep down can't stand Conan as the Letterman spot. He won't take it. He can't handle a grind like that. But he thinks nobody else should have it, and certainly not Conan. And this is all just a bitter kind of attack job on Conan, and maybe he deserved it at this point.
He totally deserved it. Yeah. Had Private Parts started production at this point?
No.
Okay.
Nope. 2 years away from that.
Got it.
We're on the equivalent of the last season of The Office. Oh, that's great. Rick the Electrician. The Stern Show is the equivalent of the last season of The Office. Same bits, new people, nobody cares anymore. Currently show. That's the bottom line, right? The James Spader years, right, Rick?
Yeah, you wonder if Steve Nowicki feels like, I was on camera with Triumph the Insult Comic Dog. My career's about to take off, like.
Yeah, I think about that all the time with that current show, that the people who work on the show come in there and they think they're going to be able to brag to their immediate circle and friends and family that they work in show business. But it's gotten past the point now where it's embarrassing to be on that show, beyond embarrassing. And if any online chatter about this show is always negative now. So
Right.
you're at a point where I wouldn't even say this. I would be so embarrassed to bring it up. It used to be something that you could take pride in. They thought, oh, I work in show business and this is going to lead to something and stuff. I wouldn't bring this up to anyone. I would be embarrassed on every level to say I work on this show, to even claim you work in show business being on the show.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It's the young people, especially, right? They think, oh, well, this is my rocket ship to fame. Like, it's the lowest level of, if you even consider this show business.
Yeah,
you know, and they're just like, they want to be everywhere else but here.
Well, and you wonder if, like, is, you know, Tim's assistant, what's that guy's name?
Jared, yeah, Fox, Jared Fox.
You wonder if Jared is sort of the last in a generation to put the Howard Stern show on his resume when he left for other things.
He may not even do that. He may not even. That's a brilliant reference by you. Like, that's the last guy that was able to somewhat use this show to, like, get somewhere.
Right.
Like, okay, I'm gonna, and maybe he had an exit strategy. I don't know. We'd have to speak to the guy just like and say, like, where he goes, yeah, I knew the show was gonna get really bad. I needed to get out and do something else because
like,
there's no
like
way I'm
Luis,
going down.
Luis the board op probably didn't use it, but I could see Jared, because he's like more on the corporate side of things, like, oh, this is a big cash, or, you know,
yes,
they claim it's a cash cow for Sirius, and I could maybe finagle a new job out of that.
But, like, you know, some of these, you know, the staff of 70 and some of the obscure ones that go out in the world and they talk to their friends and their friends say, look, guys, you know, we'll say like fucking Mike Perlman, whoever, fucking trainer or something like that. They go, hey, God, I go on the Reddit on it. They hate your guts. Gee, I mean, everybody hates it. I mean, do you realize how negative people just, I mean, do you guys, are any fans left that like the show? I mean, I can't believe, and then they go, oh God, that's a fucking message board. You can't take that seriously.
Right.
Well, kind of. Everybody hates. Like, I don't see one positive comment. Maybe
also,
we can take it seriously.
At some point, every new hire to the staff, whether they realize it or admit it or not, they are basically a museum curator.
Yeah.
For you know, it's like they're maintaining a 1900 house, you know, that is never going to change. We can't update it. We can't do anything with it. We just have to keep it exactly the way it is and be curators for it's surviving into the next year.
That's so brilliant. That's a brilliant comparison. That's really good. All right. This is great. Motley Crue writes what they know. Tata Toothy says they know strippers and drug dealers, and that's what they write. That's great.
Did it all on camera.
What happens?
You know our green room?
Yeah.
And you know how there's like there's a marble table in there?
Yeah.
Well,
and he goes, you think Goldman and Sachs is in a rush to hire some? They're actually like pursuing him.
Yeah. Are you familiar with Tradio?
Yeah, we want a guy who violates every SEC rule in 3 days. Who'll get us sued beyond.
Well, I never knew, but it's not connected to whatever it's on.
Yeah.
So Conan O'Brien just came in.
You thought 9/11 destroyed Goldman Sachs? Wait till Sal works there for 2 weeks.
And he put his feet on the table.
Yeah.
The marble thing flipped over and it cracked in half. I know he feels terrible, but it's our fault.
This is a great idea by Rick, the electrician. You know, Howard would actually be better off just going full woke and get back on regular radio and just become the head of the resistance. It's just, he's just too old and has new. All right. He just lean into the whole thing and don't even try to be. He wants it, you know, this is a bit of a cliche when we say you want it both ways, but he is the very paradigm of wanting it both ways. He wants you to think he's edgy, but he wants the woke. I hate saying woke. He wants the evolution, celebrity, obsequious points at the same time, and you can't have both. So he's failing on both ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think the celebrities can see through it.
Well, also the celebrities he's trying to kiss ass to are secretly like centrist people. They're not even leftists or liberals themselves. They want their money just as much.
He's not a liberal. He's not a liberal. He's
not,
all about himself and tax dollars and property. If you go listen to him, and even before the John Kerry stuff and the fake battle with the FCC, he is every trope of every greedy fucking sociopath Republican. He's all of it. He only wants liberal points for the celebrities. That's all he cares about.
Well, and the way he distracts you from that is he acts like he does the whole misery, sad sack. He embodies the Rodney Dangerfield "I get no respect" thing, because in the public's mind, it's like, yeah, Howard acts really miserable. He couldn't be a megalomaniac villain if he feels so miserable about his life, And
then he wants to play the victim at the same time.
Right.
He tries to set himself up as the hero or the protagonist in the story, but he really is not. He's the antagonist.
Right. And he thinks that coming off as like kind of like mopey and disconsolate is going to trick the audience into thinking that, like, well, I identify with Howard feeling down and depressed. He couldn't possibly take advantage of anyone,
And we say this all the time. He's down. Him having any kind of pathos or down and depressed is because he's an overindulged king baby brat that has gotten everything he's wanted since he was a fucking teenager. He's a baby boomer who didn't cut his grass on Long Island. I've never heard of that.
Yeah,
I've never heard of that.
He's a bored baby sitting on a pile of toys that he doesn't want to play with anymore.
Right. And that's not pathos. That's not depression. That's just
boredom.
It's boredom. And that's not a backward compliment that he's so cerebral that his brain gets bored. It's just an overindulged king baby brat.
And he's not interested in any.
He's not interested. Right.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, listen, just bill him for it. You gonna wear your party hat?
Oh, absolutely. Give me one.
Yeah, Ralph, give Robin a party hat. What's the matter with you? What are you, stupid? Here, Jackie.
Horatius is a great comment on it. He goes about JD. I thought JD was fun for a little while because of the Napoleon Dynamite aspect of him. But that personality got old, and he got old very fast. I know. In about 2 weeks, I was tired of him.
Yeah, the movie lost its Q rating in 2005.
And they're still doing it. He's so right, and you're so right. And there's still the Napoleon Dynamite-ness of him. They're still on that. That's so true.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah. Give one to the Jackie Poppet. Here, Fred.
All right.
There you go.
Is Ralph wearing a do-rag?
From what I read in the paper, Conan's out.
Yes. Ralph was wearing do-rags all the time, which almost makes you think that he had hair plugs somewhere in there.
That's a good point, yeah.
This is great. So Howard's already going, I hear from the newspapers Conan's out.
Yeah.
So Conan's listening to this.
I know he feels terrible, but it's our fault.
Hey, listen, just bill him for it. You gonna wear your party hat?
Oh, absolutely.
Big Black Tata Toothy. I got a clip somewhere of Big Black begging Howard to do JD's job and him making excuses up that he couldn't hire him. And you know why? Chris Rock's N-word segment we're gonna do. You'll find out.
Give me one.
Yeah, Ralph, give Robin a party hat. What's the matter with you? What are you, stupid? Here, Jackie. Yeah. Give one to the Jackie.
The archive said he did approve of it. He played clips of it last week and had Smigel on the phone. Wow. Something is off about it. It's just way too. I give him credit, I guess, if he played clips of it. He must be on his way out because there's nothing positive. There's no way to look at that and say, yes, what a great sense of humor they have about themselves. There's no way that could come off good.
But Howard is also stupid, and he probably doesn't realize what Triumph is going to say. Like, he probably thinks it's going to be shallow, softball roasts like he got at any of the roasts except for Sal saying the horseface comments about Beth,
For quite a while now, Howard's been doing this thing where he pretends he has a sense of humor about himself.
Right.
He doesn't. He did this on the roasts in the early days of Sirius, when they did the Gary roast and stuff, where they would take shrapnel shots at him, and he's laughing all the way to the bank. I mean, ha ha ha, I have Howard TV to sell this, and I'm not even doing anything. I'm sitting here and watching everybody else do all the work.
Right.
Bob Levy setting up the roasters being funny, and I just sit here and collect all the money. So the joke's on you because I'm getting all the money.
Right.
What was I going to say? I'm glad I didn't know that, archives. I'm glad I didn't know that. I'm glad I didn't even see it. I'm glad I'm so blissfully unaware of the daily goings on of that show that I didn't know that. I'm very proud of myself.
You pop it. Here, Fred.
All right.
There you go. From what I read in the paper, Conan's out. Right? Didn't you read that?
Yeah, there have been rumors flying that he's going to be replaced.
Hey, you guys want some party blowers?
Sure.
So we're having a farewell party for Conan.
No big farewell to stick in the picture?
No. It was quick. It was. Ralph, where's a farewell sign? Jackie Puppet, do you have your hat on? You do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
These don't make noise.
No, they don't.
We'll make our own noise.
I'll give Conan a hat. All right, bring in Conan.
Well, PC23 is like, he canceled his series because Eric the Midget passed away.
Yeah, it's funny in that video when they show Robin at her desk, there's that little, Eric the Midget statuette thing with the balloons attached to it. And I always thought that was kind of sad for Robin, where it's like she probably felt like that was the last time I had fun on this show was Eric calling in, or it embodied like a spirit of a time when they were actually in studio and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's all. I mean, Eric was also lazy filler for them too. That he would just go to him.
That, yes.
Right, 45 minutes of that, and Eric's a bit polarizing, whatever, but he definitely became a part of that lazy filler to sort of, you talk about like punching down, right? Is that not the very personification of punching down in every way? Oh, Eric benefited from the show, whatever. But
right.
I'm amazed. Eric had quite a little following there, and like you could make a case that he deserved like $200,000 a year for the contributions he gave to that show. Like just literally a salary, an actual six-figure salary for the times they use him every day for 45 minutes.
I think the people that responded well to Eric kind of responded to the fact that he basically was living the life of like a perpetual 10-year-old, like he could watch wrestling whenever he wanted to. He could, just sit home, and he didn't really have any responsibilities, and he made use of that time in a way that a 10-year-old would. So everyone.
Did you read his Amazon wish list? Did you ever see that?
I never did, but
it's what you're describing. It's a middle school kid.
Right.
Yeah, it was hilarious. It was great.
Eating at Wendy's all the time, and right.
Barney hats.
Yes, they're Barney hats. My kid loves Barney, my youngest. Yeah. I really dig Barney now because it keeps her so busy.
Howard's all for anything where this is true. Like he's not trying to be funny. He will look for any excuse to not take care of or spend time with his kids.
He would swear to that in court, that statement he just
made.
Yeah, right.
And he's trying to look cool in front of the other non-kid staff members.
Right. Yeah.
Where is Conan? Conan, come on in. Look at you. We got a big party.
Yeah, Tata Toothy, I saw that. Apparently, Lady Gaga was on the show, and apparently she has this thing now, like any like kind of actual like big star who's like contemporary. She's sort of like bored with him and the show, and she's not liking the fucking Zoom shit, and she was like, why do I need to waste my time? I'm sure the interview is well over an hour, and she probably has a million things she could do offer wise that this just doesn't, when her people, and she probably has like publicists and people researching like what serves her time the best, right? Not this.
Yeah. I mean, it's one thing for, I don't even know who's going on the show right now, but I feel like Lady Gaga doesn't have to play ball with going on Howard anymore.
She doesn't need him.
Yeah.
She's doing them a favor. They're not doing her a favor. What is promotion? What does she need from them?
Right.
She's going to, think about how the offers she probably gets, right? She's going to waste an hour and a half on this show with Howard's not even, also too, like the new thing now with the current, and again, I've followed the current show, like loose enough to just have a commentary like this, like just so now he says Howard does this thing now. It's such a velvet rope celebrity food chain circle jerk where he tells the likes of Madonna and Springsteen and Keith Richards and I'm gonna come into studio for you, but I'm not gonna come in the studio for Lady Gaga and whomever. And it tells those celebrities, Howard thinks less of me. He thinks that I'm lesser because he will not come in studio. Cher was the other one, right?
Yeah.
So it tells you, the publicist is going, okay, so you came in studio for Cher,
right?
But you won't come in studio for Lady Gaga, who's way bigger than Cher is in this current landscape of pop culture.
You know who he stole that from is, or at least
Carson.
The Carson, right? Exactly. This like giving them the thumbs up and
to the
then waving
couch
them
or
to
walk
the
over the
couch.
couch. Yeah,
right. Yeah.
So it tells the celebrities, it insults them on the DL that they're beneath him because he is coming in the studio for certain select people. And at some point, if you're Lady Gaga's PR people or her manager or whoever, you're talking to Gary or Will, you're like, just like, okay, well, why did you have to do this? You have to do this. You have to, if this is your job, you have to say to them, well, why did Howard come in for Cher and Keith Richards, but Lady Gaga sells millions and millions of albums. She sells out tours, but she won't come in for her.
There's no
why is that?
upside to
Right.
it either. It's
There's
not
nothing
like
in it for
Lady
her.
Gaga. It doesn't make the artist go, oh, I have to do better.
I have to do this
to get to that point where he'll come in. I have to like work harder. They don't care. And Lady Gaga, she can go on any show in the world.
We just said that.
She could say she wants to come to Australia to do an interview, and we'd probably pay for the whole plane flight for her to come here. That's the level. She could go to Iceland to do a talk show. They'd probably pay for her whole to come. She's that famous.
Did you just pop back on again? Like,
no, I'm listening to.
Okay, yeah, we just said that.
Saying.
You know how many options she has, and like to waste her time is very. And I'm not like being. I acknowledge she's super talented and she has tons. She is.
Oh no! Don't talk about her talent on just the fame. Like
I'm just fame. Just stay on the fame.
It,
Strictly fame. Just strictly
I had
fame.
listened to her latest album and I was not impressed with that kind of music.
Strictly fame.
God.
But nevertheless,
the fame. How does it work? Like the people who manage her, they all know it goes back to the Hamptons, I guess. So she has to do it. She can't want to do this show. No way, because no one sees her on. If she goes on Fallon or something like that, she knows that 10 times the amount of people are going to see her and hear her.
It's a great question you pose. How is it in her camp that they agree to do this? Like what does she need from this? I don't think she's a super fan of the show enough, and she shouldn't be. She's certainly too young to fit that description, and like maybe that she would go, yeah, I'm gonna do him a favor because I've been such a fan for so many years. That's out. So what is in it for her to wait? She's so many options. Her time is actually precious. Unlike Howard's
very
time.
precious.
Yeah.
And this album's just come out. So her days at the moment, she's probably planning a whole tour. It's probably 9 to 5 working on what's happening with the tour or whatever. And this would be an absolute pain in the ass for her, I think.
Yeah. And that she's not a morning person. Right? That's even worse. Like, and he'll move the show to the afternoon for those people too that I mentioned.
Right. I think I could see a situation where like the itinerary for a press junket just becomes like it's a photocopy of the same one that you did before and the same one you did before.
Let's eliminate these. I'm sick of this. Right. Let's truncate. Let's streamline our. You said it so brilliantly there, Davyd. Let's streamline our next press tour because we know this didn't work for this. This didn't move the needle for us whatsoever. I got nothing out of it. So the first thing you would chop off is the show that's dominating an hour and a half of your time, that doesn't sell you one single album, that no one's listening to. We know the metrics. He won't say them. We know no one's listening. I'm sorry, W. Go ahead.
Well, no, but Bon makes a really funny point. I love the idea that Lady Gaga's like secret obsession is like, how can I be better so Howard will come into the studio the next time I have an album?
She doesn't need to impress
Carson had that thing where if he invited you over, so if you were going on as a comedian, you'd be like, I have to up my game. I have to write the best shit so that I can get his approval at the end of it.
Right.
And that doesn't work with this.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you, Chubby Pickle. Nothing since dropping off some coins for ARM. Thank you, Chubby. Usual guys. Right. That's a great point you guys have about, and at the same time, like the money aspect, or she has nothing. She's nothing to prove. Like back in those days with Carson, you just mentioned, you needed that show. You needed it. It was the only game in town. People didn't even have. Maybe some people didn't even have basic cable at that point. Now you go on a fucking a YouTube show where they're sucking back buffalo wings gets 10 times the views the Stern Show does, and it's 10 times the promotion.
Yeah.
She doesn't need this on any level. And if I'm managing her career, you're chopping this off. You are not doing the show again.
Hang on,
especially after you've just been insulted that he won't come in the studio for you.
Yeah. Lady Gaga has 58.9 million followers on Instagram. She could just make a post and her album would sell.
Yeah.
Like she dropped her album.
Just
she doesn't
right.
need to do a press junket anymore.
Just off social media.
Right.
Give us your money. Give us your money. Give us your money. Give us your money. You think this shit comes easily? You think ARM spends hours and hours and hours and hours ferreting because he loves it? You think Davyd learns the theme song to Cheers live on the air for his health? And what about the Sarah man? She doesn't want to come on the show anymore, but everybody still loves her. Give her your money. What about Australia? You think it's cheap to broadcast from Australia? It costs hundreds of dollars an hour. Give us your money.
Tata Toothy, I forget who it was. Was it Bon Jovial? We wanted to do. I forget who it was. I wanted to do a show. Somebody asked me. It might have been like in an email about Howard's old politics with Giuliani, D'Amato, and Pataki. It's such a different time. Sky Spectre, thank you.
Libertarian candidate back in the day.
Yeah. Josh Foster and Davyd says some profound shit. Agreed. He really does. We're really spoiled by that. I agree. Thank you, Josh.
There was a comment about a wombat here. I'll just put this up for a sec. I don't even know about it. Obviously, something happened with a wombat. I haven't heard about it, but I guess if our Prime Minister got angry about it. But I mean, whatever that is, whatever that video is about something happening to a wombat, that video is getting more views than Howard gets a week.
Yeah.
That'll be 20 million people have probably watched that wombat video, whatever it is. And he can't move anything. And it's that they don't even know. Like, Lady Gaga doesn't have a clue. She can't, the person doesn't have the time to listen for 3.5 hours. Like, that was the old days in the 90s, I'm thinking, where all celebrities and famous people were listening to Howard, like in the background in the morning. They were going, oh, this is craziest show on earth. And they'd all call in and stuff. But no, these people, she doesn't have a clue what he's on about. And the last thing she wants is to do at the level that she's at, fame-wise, she don't want to go into the past. She's done all of that. The first time she came on, he did all of that. And she knows he's probably going to go there again. And she's like, no, I want to talk about this new album, because the gimmick she's using with this album is that she's going into this harder industrial sound. And if you like industrial, don't worry. She's got nowhere near it. She's just, some of the drums are a bit heavier, like 50% of the Nine Inch Nails sort of heavy drum. And it's only on the first few tracks of the album that it kind of hits a little harder. And then it goes back to this Lady Gaga crap. The rest of the album just sounds like all of her other stuff. So I'm listening to it going, oh, you can't really try and tell me that the synths are a bit distorted, so we're going into Nine Inch Nails territory here. I was like, so she's running a gimmick, and that's what she wants to talk about. That's my point. If she goes on him, she doesn't want to sit there for 2 hours with him.
Not only that, we're using Lady Gaga as an example of contemporary young pop culture. We could say anybody. They're not worth anybody's time. So they have to fool these publicists into thinking, oh, this show means something. It's good. The Pelican Brief, we've watched it 1,000 times. That was the whole point of it. But they're never going to, the metrics they have to repeat to the PR people. They have to lie about it, because if they told them truly what was listening to the show, they'd never book anybody. It would never be worth any young star's time.
The whole thing with Howard and reinventing himself, and that Howard goes deep in the interviews, none of that applies anymore, because we're living in a different world over the last 10 years, 5-10 years, where nobody can have any attention span. That's why TikTok's so huge, and that people don't want it. They want the key information now. So his whole thing of being the guy who'll do a 2.5-hour interview, that's over. That was in 2010, 2015 or whatever. 2015. Now it's a different. So he's screwed. He had a golden few years where he's in-depth interviews, and now it's just like you get into an interview with him, and it's like going into like this sarcophagus, and it's just like, oh God, we slow everything down, and I can look up Bruce Springsteen's childhood and read it in 2 minutes. You know,
we got to stop complimenting him. We got to stop complimenting. I mean, even that, this depth, it's because he gets that time with them because he won't allow anybody else to have that time. He has issued memorandums to the rest of Sirius. They're not allowed to even interview these people. So he gets that time. It's because you give anybody 2 hours with someone, you're going to get deep. But he's the only one allowed to do it.
And I will challenge anyone who thinks that his long form interviews have been somewhat good. Give me any clip of any information in all of those interviews that came out that was new, groundbreaking, or revelations that came out from someone like Paul McCartney. Nothing. They never told him anything that we didn't already know. When I listened to them, I'm like, but this is just their story. It's not new.
He used to. His old interview style, when it was more kamikaze and Jackie was writing for him and there was no internet developed, I call stuff all the time I'd never heard before. From the old
that's
stuff.
different. I'm talking
I know
about this character they developed, that he was now this intense interviewer.
I know.
They didn't tell him, and he couldn't get it out of them, is what I'm trying to say. He couldn't inspire those people in those interviews to tell him anything new.
Go ahead,
also, Howard prides himself on thinking that talking about mental health with celebrities is like a taboo. It's not. Mental health is the most pop culture friendly thing in the last 10 years.
Yep.
Everybody has therapy speak. Everybody is aware of depression. I don't know one person in my life or in anyone else's life that doesn't have some kind of mental health issue.
Everybody does.
For him to like talk about it like he's got some scoop, about like Martin Short's depression, it's not the big flashy thing that he thinks it is, because it's kind of embraced now. There's no shame around dealing with mental health issues.
How many times you see a celebrity in conversation or interviewed and they invariably will say, "Oh God, tell that to my therapist." Like everybody says it. Right? Every celebrity says that now as a joke. "Oh, tell that to my therapist." So it implies it's almost cool to say you're in therapy, where you don't need it. You're sort of just, again, an overindulged brat that's going in there and saying how you've been wronged and screwed out of this and your life is really,
if Howard wanted to have like revelatory conversations about mental health, he would talk to regular people about how they can't afford therapy or pharmaceuticals. That's the real problem, not the shame around it.
Yeah. And I think it all goes back to Woody Allen was the guy who pioneered talking about that. He started talking about that in the 70s in his movies, and it's all through Seinfeld, and they took it so much from Woody Allen, I think, with that. You're right.
Did you hear us say that? Yeah, Seinfeld is very
like George Costanza is.
Yeah, that's it. That's who I forgot, Bon. Thank you.
Woody Allen.
George's Woody Allen. Thank you, Bon. George's Woody Allen, Larry David, and Mike Costanza. I forget the Woody Allen was what I couldn't remember.
Right. And much like Woody Allen, Howard is in analysis. He's not in therapy or psychiatry. He's in analysis. So it's very much like reflection, reflecting on childhood. It's all reflection with no action items.
Yes.
So he can just kind of pontificate about his childhood without homework from his analyst. Which is what he wants. He just wants to, he just wants to run out the clock talking about how he thinks he was wronged in his childhood without his analyst giving him any homework to do about how to become a better person.
But therapy gives you an excuse. It gives you an out. Some people use it as an out and as an excuse. Oh, I'm working on myself. I could be the biggest asshole in the world. I'm the worst father. I'm the worst friend. I'm the worst whatever.
But at least I feel bad about it.
At least I feel, but I'm in therapy, so that gives me the pass.
Right.
And there's a Barbara comment here, which backs up what Davyd was just saying. So yeah, when Woody Allen was doing it in the 80s, people were probably watching movies going, I can't believe he's talking about seeing his psychologist.
Right.
Oh my God. But David's, the last 10 or so years, everybody's been talking about it.
Yeah.
So it's a weird thing for Howard to want to delve into it so much.
I mean, you read
it doesn't.
a book. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's just not groundbreaking.
He also has
I
no
agree
life
with what you're
experience.
saying.
He has new life. He has no new life experiences. So one of the crutch ways to fill time is to talk about I'm in therapy. His only life, and I'm not even sure a narcissist or someone as as megalomaniacal as he is. The only reason he would go to therapy is so the therapist validates what he already thinks. He's not going to push back.
Well,
you really think
like
the therapist is like
Sopranos.
researching? Right, yeah. The therapist would say to him, Howard, why do you keep telling me you went to school in Roosevelt? Your entire high school career is Rockville Center, which is 98%. You didn't go to Roosevelt High School. Why are you lying? You think the therapist is saying that to him?
Well, I think that I think the therapist is just cashing the checks, quite honestly.
I'm not even sure he goes to therapy. I'm not even sure I believe it.
I've been saying that since Gunk. I don't think he's been going at all since he got divorced.
The Allison, Allison forced him to go.
You know what's great when people tell a story that you think that screwed them up. That story about if you thought of him needing therapy because he was so depressed about his divorce, I don't think he cared at all. You know, when you're in a relationship and you don't want to be with them anymore, you don't care about them anymore.
Self-sabotage.
You're just like, I'm breaking up with you right now, and I never want to see you again. In your mind, you're just like, I don't care. You know, when it's the opposite of that, and you're the other person who doesn't want to break up, how sad you are. That wasn't Howard.
It's never
he wanted
mutual.
A hot chick. He had a frumpy wife that he'd had 3 kids with.
And he wanted.
So he didn't care. So him trying to talk about divorce, when he gets into that, and it was such a hard time. I don't think it was at all.
No, I've said this all the time.
I want a hot chick now.
He sabotaged his marriage to make Allison look like the bad guy, but he'd already checked out years before. So like you just said, he wanted the red carpets and he wanted to trade her in because it was just he'd now rolling with a different group. But he just said that he's not going to do the official breakup. He's going to make her do it. So he's going to be so checked out, and so she looks like the bad guy. Right. And he probably thinks there's some divorce loophole that if she breaks the marriage up, he doesn't have to pay her as much. If she's the one that lowers the boom.
And we don't know shit about what really happened.
No.
He could have been living in an apartment for 6 months before they got divorced.
2 years
he might have done that. Like what you're saying.
Yeah.
He could have done that, and then she, in reaction, said, I want a divorce now. And he's like, exactly, that's what I wanted.
Yep. He exactly. I trace it back to 97 when he didn't go to Stuttering John's wedding. The entire staff went, and he didn't go because I think Allison,
they had broken up then.
Yeah.
On a timeline.
They broken up then, and if they couldn't go, he couldn't go to the wedding because they would realize he and Allison weren't together, and Allison couldn't go because so Allison was really good friends with Susanna, and I think that's when they broke up. I think the summer of 97, that was when the marriage fell apart.
Yeah, because he knew if he didn't go to that wedding and if he said Allison's sick, she couldn't be here. They'd all know something's wrong.
Ralph went to the wedding. Bon. Ralph went, and Ralph hates John.
And I think that I think it was less to trade up to another woman, and more that he probably didn't think that. I don't really know if Howard thought he would be as famous as he became in the 90s or rich. And divorce also meant divorcing his kids too, to some extent, because they would have visitation with their moms. He wouldn't have to be a 7 days a week father.
No, that would be totally his terms. You could throw money at the problem with them, like to have to visit them. He's forced to visit them on a Wednesday during a work week, right? And you only do that if you have a fucking driver picking you up at noon and taking you to Old Westbury. Like, you really think that motherfucker's going to get in a car and drive himself? Well, the only reason he could do that is because he could throw money at the visitation of it. No civilian can do that.
But also, I love that he picked the most like he picked a day of the week where he's the most busy too. It's
Yes.
like, I'll try
Don't
my
screw up
best
my
to see you.
weekend. Right. It's just like, get it out of the way. I think he looks at it as, I'm getting it out of the way. If you were a kid and you spent time with your dad who you supposedly missed, would you want to do it on a Wednesday afternoon when you had school the next day?
Right. That's the other thing too, is like, he knows it's at a point where the kids are so distracted by, it's hump day and I have a math test tomorrow, and like, okay, I'll try to be present with you, Dad, but like, you're making it really difficult because I have duties at school the next day, you know.
And he's looking at his watch the whole time. You really think he's like engaged when he's the car's literally waiting for him running. Like, it's in the driveway with the engine on, waiting for him.
He's like, sorry, go ahead.
No, I think like his daughter, when your daughter comes out and does an interview and says that my dad turned me off men, that's more than being a wise ass on the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt.
And we can't get the story about how bad he was. That's the shame. Like what he
got
really
enough.
did.
We got enough.
Like the real scumbag.
I just want to say one more thing about the interview thing. Sorry, John, you mentioned like he has no new life experience, and you really do get the sense that the last life experience he had was realizing that he could replace his parents with his therapist. And so that's the line of questioning in every like, he's obsessed with it. That's the last thing he learned. That's what he's going to talk to everybody about for the rest of his life. And
his conversations are all rote and by the numbers. Like, he doesn't have to ever engage in a conversation he doesn't want. Most of us in our real lives have to talk to people we don't want to talk to, or we have to, on our day-to-day, maybe we're out in the world buying things or just drive. He doesn't ever have to deal with conversations. He has a phone system where it's like a Get Smart walls come up. So he never has to actually have a conversation that he's not perfectly ready for at all times.
Well, and the interviews are like that too, I think, because of Marcy. I think they're so formatted now because of Marcy, so that when Sarah Jessica Parker tries to ask him about his kids, he, buzzers are going off.
Right. Gaga, Archives. Gaga, I guess, has her own channel on Sirius now, but I don't even know, if that even bothers that she's gonna. She might be contractually obligated to have done that, actually, as Archive says that.
Yeah,
it might have been said to Gaga, like, okay, we're going to give you your own channel. It's a lot of money, but you have to do the Howard Stern show. You have to give them an interview. It's just he's a partner, and it's just part of the cyclical thing we do at Sirius. This fake synergy we have. He's not going to do your channel, but you got to do his.
It wouldn't take much money either for her to agree to that. Because imagine if someone, both of you in your minds, if someone said, I'm just going to use diary entries you made and publish them, nothing bad, but I'm going to pay you $1 million a year.
Yeah, who would say no to that?
That's what her getting that is. It's just like it's her music, so it's
all
her
of
art
the
diary.
Art.
It's just like that for us. You just go, oh, you're just going to play my music all the time on the channel and promote me. Oh, okay. So how much do you want? And they say 5 million, and you say, well, I'm thinking 8. Think about how much fucking money that is. That's amazing for her. So she doesn't give a fuck at all. She has nothing to do with it. It's like, it's probably part of that whole shit. Like, if she wants to, when a new album comes out, her people say, do you want to let companies use this for advertisements? Do you want to sell that shit? And she might go, no, I don't do that. But if it's part of the deal, they just go and make all those deals.
Yeah, I mean,
and they send her through an email saying, we've got this happening. So she probably has no interest about Sirius or him. It's just amazing. It's an industry. It's just fucking money.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it leads me to the conclusion that all these fucking millionaires deserve each other. Like, it's like, good, Lady Gaga, I'm glad you're being punished with a Howard interview for the amount of money that you probably got from doing it.
Right.
So,
that's right.
Yeah. That's the biggest suffering she's gonna have to do.
That's why you don't hear her complaining.
No,
exactly. So at least she's got.
Take your castor oil and shut the fuck up. Right.
Josh Foster's, how early do you think Howard decided he's never go back to? I think he knew that, Josh. I think if you go back listening to Radio Gunk, immediately. I mean, I said this immediately on Gunk in 2000. He loves COVID. When he heard that rumor coming down that COVID was coming around and things were going to get shut down, he was giddy. You could hear it. He had this in motion before whoever, what moles he has had given him like medical advice and what's going on. He knew he was going to do this, I think, probably 3 months before COVID even hit. That he was hoping it was going to be as bad as it was, and it was. And he's, oh my God, this is my out. I'm going to stay home forever. That was his dream.
You know what? You remember when they went there, we did a show, and Dennis said he's never going back. And I remember saying to Dennis, no way, I've got to get clips of it because I was so wrong. But I remember saying, oh, he has to go back. He's got to go back. And Dennis was just like, he's never, ever going to go back. He's never going to do that show.
There's no way he was going
and
back.
I it's crazy, but back then I thought that was impossible.
Here's the rule.
He made it work, and that's one of the smartest things he's ever done, I think. He's got out of everything.
Here's the rule. Once this show, and since he's been at Sirius, when something goes away, it's never coming back. There'll never be an improvement made. He only takes things away, whether it's Howard 101 shows or the wrap-up show. Things will you'll never get more. He will chip away at what you already have.
It's like Apple with the iPhones. When they remove something you really like, it takes you so long to get them to go back to it. Like everyone has to campaign, and Apple do. They'll put things back. Like they take it HDMI port on laptops, and everyone was like, are you fucking kidding me? And then they had to wait like 4 years for them to bring it back and just complain and complain. And that's the same thing. You knew when it went that it wasn't coming back for a long time. And with Howard, it's never. And you were, I'll give you credit, you were as well as Dennis, you were saying he won't go back. But I think Monique and I maybe were both just saying, no, he's got to have to. And it's incredible how he swindles his way out of shit. And
he
always, best luck ever.
He always gets his way. Yeah. When does he not get his way? When does he ever not get his way in these situations?
This was a great discussion, though, I think. The last, 30, 40 minutes. It's fascinating. It's not, I don't mean that.
No, this is what we
I
don't
enjoyed
This
that.
is what we do, right? Yeah.
We're not like retreading everything. This was different sort of vibes on the way he is, I thought. So I guess this would make a good shorty, a longy.
I'll give you another comparison to what you just said about how a video game. I don't know how much you follow the video game world and the solution. I remember I had this conversation with my nephew and my cousins all the time. Video games are not better now than they were 20-something years ago. Now, the downloads that they claim they're giving you have to buy, right? Individual subscriptions for the video game in addition to the system that you have. So if you have Xbox, you have to buy a subscription. Why wasn't this necessary years ago? You have to buy a subscription to Xbox, then you have to buy an additional subscription to the game you're playing for this content that used to be free because you would have a cheat code, and the cheat code would unlock all these things. Now the cheat codes have gone away. Now you have to pay individual fees for shit that used to be free. And the graphics were great 20 years ago. The graphics are good now, and they're probably better if that's the only thing. Video get this, it's just like you're never gonna get that back. Once they start taking it away.
Pay to play.
Pay to play, right.
You buy the game. If you buy it physically, which not many people are doing, you pay that, whatever it is, $50 for the game.
For the game.
And then you've got to be in a whole subscription thing. And that's it's
that's
just
not good
amazing.
enough. I'll go even further. I'm gonna go further. Now
I'm loving it.
The game, you can't put it in your system and play it. That's not good enough. You have to download the game into your hard drive. The hard drive fills up. Now you have to buy a new hard drive, and they pay them for the new hard drive because
let me tell you about that.
Then you're going to buy a new system because now your hard drive just filled up. Why was that necessary when Xbox 360 and PS3 didn't have that? You didn't have to do that.
I bought games like I love shooters, and I'll buy a game like that. You buy the game, you install it into the computer, which takes
still use it.
like half an hour, and then it tells you there's a 50 gigabyte update that it downloads. So you want it, but it just doubled the game size.
Right,
it's crazy. And then every 3 or 4 months, there's special updates.
Not only that. Once you
gigs.
download the game, you want the physical copy of it because you think it looks cool on your shelf. You can't, once you've downloaded the game into your hard drive, you still have to use the disc again. So that's you can't even. They have it where
Yeah,
so
yeah,
now
yeah.
you can't. You know how you used to go over to your friend's house, you take the games over and play. They have it where you can't do that because now if you take the game over to your friend's house, you got to download it into his Xbox, and that takes up
Yeah.
space.
And then you have to log into your Xbox Live account.
Yeah,
Because
which costs
and
money.
if you don't have an internet connection, you can't play the game at all from the
Right.
beginning. If you buy it, you put it in, it has to authenticate that you're not a
Right.
pirate.
You can't bring it
That
over
you
to your
didn't
friend's
steal
house.
it
Right.
from your friend.
Right. Right.
So it has to be on the internet. They fuck you. That's how Apple fuck you. They bring out 4 different versions of the phone, and now they're doing it with guitars. They're bringing out a cheaper guitar, and they're trying to trick everybody. And then everybody thinks the crappy guitar that was $500 more is now the good guitar.
Right.
Yes.
Everybody gets fucked.
Hey, ESG. We're bringing up
We're getting
Seinfeld.
Nicely
so
done,
funny.
It's they figured out a way to quadruple and the video game industry, like whether it's Microsoft or Sony, they get off on the new generation and like old heads like me like dropping off. So the new kids aren't gonna know that this used to be better. So they can keep duping the new kids to paying their parents, paying them like individual download fees on their thing, and that all used to be free. And now every video game. So if I play NBA Live, let's say, you have to buy the game, like Bond said. You have to have a subscription to Xbox or PS. Then the game itself has another fee that they claim is premium content. That shit was all free, and the game's
and then
not
it gets
deeper.
worse. Then when the new console comes out, John,
Yeah,
it won't play it.
Won't play it.
It's not backwards compatible.
Do you remember? Do you remember the compatibility scam they had back in the day? They said, "Oh, when it went from was it PS3 to PS4? They said all your games are going to be playable on PS4, and it turns out it's 10. It's 10 out of 6,000.
Yeah, and Xbox did it, and it's like
And they both did it.
100. It was 100 at the beginning, I think.
And kids
100
fall for
games.
this shit, and everyone keeps falling into their trap of.
And then if you love the franchise, I could talk about this for hours. You love the franchise, and the new game comes out, but it's on the new console.
New console.
So you've got
You
the
can't even
old
play your old
console,
console.
and they won't
Right.
make you a version now. They used to make 2 versions. Remember, they'd make one that works on the Xbox One, and then they'll do the new Xbox version. And now they don't. They shut you out.
You don't
and
think they have the technology to do that? How about the controllers?
Oh, they
They'll
could
never
do
let
it.
you
They could
cross
do it in
over
a
the
few
control.
weeks.
Yeah. In 10 seconds.
AI can probably do it now with the game. It'll backwards run it on. But no, they fuck you. So you've got to buy the new console. But you only want to play that one game on that console. So you've got the old console routed in through HDMI, and you've got the new console routed in, and you've only playing one game on the new console.
The game they play is they
getting
want to make
fucked
you
over.
feel obsolete. So you have to feel incomplete and obsolete, and you have to get the newest, shiniest thing all the time. We're all goldfish brains.
They make it that it's so hard to get the console.
Yes,
It's
that's
sold out
another
for
crazy
years.
thing, right? PS5 has been out for how many years now, and it's still hard to get. How many years?
And
has it been out?
so you get if you're dumb enough, you get the game, and you
Yeah.
go, "Oh shit, I can't
now I
play it
have
on
to
this
get the
old
system, yeah.
console." And so every time you buy stuff now, you have to look at all the information, what compatibility, all this shit, and they fuck you. So you got the game, and then you once you buy the game and you know you can't use it on your console, you immediately go and buy the new console. They fuck you with that, and it's instantaneous. You just click the button on Amazon. You go, "I have to play it." You don't
The moral of
return
the
it.
story. The moral of the story: steal everything you can from Sony and Microsoft.
Yeah.
Pirate everything because they will rape you.
Oh, well, that's a
in the same
problem
way.
though, because to play the game, your graphics card, if you have a PC, a computer, that shit costs so much money now to build a computer that can play it, and then you can't even get the graphics card for a few years because everybody was buying them to data mine.
How about this one too? So
you couldn't buy the latest GFX cards for years. They were sold out because everyone's buying them overseas and running these rooms full of computers, Bitcoin mining.
PlayStation and Xbox do this thing too. So they come out with the same game, right? And they say that, oh, for Sony, for PlayStation, we have this. But for Xbox, we have this. So it forces the person to buy 2 different versions of the game for 2 different systems. It's never the same game. They'll have one little subtle difference and you'll feel so insecure.
Well, sometimes
that
it's
you'll buy a
more
book.
than that. Sometimes it's a significant increase or decrease in graphics quality, sound quality, and shit.
Yep.
And they fuck you. You don't even know it.
ESG, we're going to do a show someday. He goes, I don't think Jerry Seinfeld's experience are his. They're not. We talked about that in the beginning, ESG. They are Larry David's. Anything interesting that ever happens on Seinfeld is from Larry David's life. And I believe Howard does that with his staff. I think he's stealing experiences now from either friends of his or people on the staff that he's pretending are his own life because he has.
I love that idea. Davyd, can you just say stealing experiences in that beautiful voice so we can do a segment on that?
Like I'm announcing a segment? Sure.
Yeah,
Stealing experiences with Howard Stern.
Back to Conan and
I love that.
Billy
song,
West.
I'll be going here.
I
Big
appreciate
farewell
that.
party for you. How was that?
Yeah, that was a great conversation. Video games is a very underrated part of my history. I used to be a much bigger gamer than I am now. And I think I was really I introduced my nephews to all that stuff and they passed me by like I was standing still. But there was a time when I was really I was thinking about developing my own NBA game.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Tell us.
I think it's now because of it was going to be that you could play any team from any time in history. And I was going to, and a lot of this stuff has been captured, but that was I'm talking in the 90s. I wanted to do this.
Right. Oh, that's interesting.
Pal, you love that? Here's your hat. And here you go. Say hi to the Jackie puppet, Conan.
Jackie. Hey, that's very good.
Conan, oh, bye-bye.
Very nice.
I like Conan, oh, bye-bye. Jackie's writing furiously for Billy West.
Right.
ESG says, I think that every story Howard told about a basement was actually his apartment in the Millennium Towers, and he was substituting. That's a really good theory.
Yeah, I like that.
That's great. Stealing experiences. I'm still on that. That's so true. And could you imagine Howard arguing that, saying, well, if somebody else's story affected me so much,
we've caught him doing that,
stealing?
Bond. We've caught him doing that.
You know?
Yeah, we've caught him. We've caught him. No, we've caught him stealing other people's stories. You know, maybe let's get back to Seinfeld again. You remember Kramer and Peterman? He stole Kramer's stories that he used for his own.
The coffee table.
Yeah, the coffee. Right. So he said the real Peterman or real Kramer. Peterman said, "My life's not interesting enough. Let's steal Kramer's stories for my life."
Yeah, and then gives them to and then Marianne from Brooklyn thinks he's so cultured and has lived such a life. Right.
Yes, Barbara DeRush. There was no prenup when Howard and Allison got married. Absolutely not. Wasn't even on people's tongues back then.
It's very good.
It's a good puppet, isn't
Who
it?
makes the puppets?
Well, it was a guy who brought us the Jackie puppet. Who was a fan of the show.
Just a fan, yeah.
It's not
That's
those
right.
Henson people. It's just like its own puppet.
What the hell is going on? Things seem to be going well for a while, but now I read It's a Matter of Time.
Where did you read this?
I'm reading it in every paper.
You don't read the papers. It's in there almost every day.
I think they rip. When Conan gets his paper delivered, they rip out.
Lorne Michaels, when you say a matter of time, if Lorne Michaels is the boss, there is no matter of time. It will stay on the air regardless of what it does. He has a weird. Davyd, tell people that story about Zucker in the.
I heard an interview with John Mulaney where Mulaney was a writer on SNL from 2008 to 12, and he told the interviewers they were asking him about Lorne Michaels, and he said, "Oh, Lorne would yell at Jeff Zucker in front of us, the cast and the writers. He didn't care that he was running NBC. He would just call him on the carpet and dress him down. Just totally."
And you don't do that unless you're sure that he has a pyramid scheme going with where he's taking people and giving them shows on Peacock and shit.
Right.
We talk about this all the time. And Lorne Michaels would have looked like the ultimate idiot giving Conan O'Brien the Letterman show, he never did stand-up. He never performed anywhere. He did a little improv. He was a writer for The Simpsons and HBO's, what was it? I forget the name of that show.
Oh, Not Necessarily in the News.
Yes, thank you, Davyd. And The Simpsons. And so all that stuff, it does not make a talk show host. And it was abominable. His first 5 years was just, And so Lorne Michaels, the biggest embarrassment would be that this got and he was going to do everything in his power. And the only reason Conan stayed on the air was this was the time of must-see TV. So you had Seinfeld and Friends and ER, and those ratings, when they kind of crutched on the Nielsen boxes and stuff, kind of trickled into the late night stuff, and he would have just enough for Lorne Michaels to justify to his bosses to keep this on the air until it worked. Nobody gets that kind of time. Nobody gets that time.
And I think his show sucked for 8 years before it started showing some semblance of being good. But you only hear about Conan's like public hand wringing about whether he's going to get canceled in that first season. So I have this theory that Lorne kind of left him out to dry in the first season and then came to him and said, I just wanted to break your spirit. You're never going to be canceled if I have anything to say about it. We're king of the mountain here at NBC, so you can stop with the hand wringing, but I wanted to teach you a lesson about, you will always defer to me,
apparently that's what Lorne Michaels does better than anything, is these weird psychological head games that he sits in his office and dreams about playing with his staff and cast and stuff. And how do I fuck with this guy? I mean, who thinks like that? Like who sits there and go, I'm gonna
talentless.
Yeah, someone who has no talent of their own. Exactly right. Tendrils, welcome Tendrils, because I also probably brings up therapy, Howard, as the card to be able to play to psychoanalyze. Yeah, that's definitely true. Like, look, I go to therapy so I can psychoanalyze you. He wanted nothing to do with being a father, says Housey. He said on the air he's busy earning a living, and his wife did everything for the kids, and I have a chain lock fence on the basement. Because it would be great if Allison got to pursue being a therapist. And she's, well, I earn a living too. I go out, he goes, well, so she can't use that excuse to not. The kids love her.
Yeah, and I think that the 2003 clips of Howard saying like, "I was a good father. I paid for every goddamn thing," was probably acceptable in the sort of height of the Bush administration, kind of like rah, yes, men should feel like that's enough to do for their children.
He had that right. He had that Fox News sect on his crowd, on his side back then. Thank you, Tendrils.
Doesn't doing double duty here.
Different article. Yeah, I'm like looking through. I'm like, Mrs. Carmichael.
You see,
yes.
I thought once Letterman gave you the seal of approval or something would happen. But the ratings have been going up, right?
Yeah, the ratings actually have been pretty good. I feel like I'm in better shape now than I was 6 months ago.
Now, so Tom Snyder's coming on. Will be your competition.
When's he coming on? Did they announce it? Is that like January?
But let me tell you something. If you don't beat him, it's going to be curtains.
You ought to quit.
You ought to quit. You ought to resign. Don't even make him pay out the rest of your contract.
All right.
Seriously, if you can't beat Tom Snyder, Conan, that's the worst thing that anything could happen.
Yeah, you know how that went down with Tom Snyder? I know that you and Tom Snyder go back, Davyd.
Oh, yes. The radio days.
How Letterman had a fetish for Tom Snyder's old radio show.
Right.
So he said, hey, let me bring in something that's of no threat to me, and he'll follow me, and he'll do basically his radio show on television.
Right.
And he'll take calls. Tom Snyder used to take calls on that show that followed Letterman. And it was a one-on-one straight interview show. It was fine. I watch it once in a while. I like the person. I don't hate Tom Snyder. He was fine. He was an old guard radio guy and shit, but I don't think he belonged on late night TV.
He pushed that hard because I remember when I was in year 10 and how Letterman first started here. I remember like 1994 or 1995 it must have been, because I remember at the end of every show he was pushing that guy, and I had no idea who that guy was.
Yeah,
but he went on a massive campaign. He said it so much that I can remember me from 1994 at the end of the shows going, wonder who that Tom Snyder guy is, but. I've never heard of his name since. Did it work out really well, or was it a shitty show? You're saying fine. It's okay?
It was fine. Okay. What did it last about 6 years, 5 years?
Yeah, I mean, he went off the air, I think in May of '98 or '99. I mean, he was out of there, and
he was replaced by
Kilborn, right?
Craig Kilborn.
That's right.
And you know who tried out for the Kilborn chair after Kilborn? Artie, D.L. Hughley. Adam Carolla. Yeah. It's an interesting list of people that tried out. David Allen Greer, I think, was one of them.
Yeah, the Tom Snyder show was, you know, if you wanted to see like a hard hitting interview with like Kate Mulgrew, you know, you would go to watch Tom Snyder.
God damn it, that's David Brenner. David Brenner's you know how Bond's a genius with these, like he does like and I could work Robert Smigel into this. You know, they did this thing on Robert Smigel's parody. It's called The Real Audio, where David Brenner is such a he tells these meandering comedic stories that just go nowhere, and the punchline, the final product's so not worth him telling this half-hour story. So Robert Smigel did a thing where David Brenner goes on all these talk shows, and he animated it where every talk show guest, a host, has a trap door, and they keep dropping David Brenner through the trap door, and he goes to the next one, and he's still telling the same story, and they keep dropping him. It's so funny. It's something Bon Jovial would do. It's like animated and stuff, but they use real David Brenner stories from talk shows while they do it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's so good.
You know who else went on Tom Snyder a lot was Mr. Miller, Mr. Dennis Miller.
Yeah, Dennis was the last guest in his.
I think that's right.
He did the farewell thing. I know. Right. Tendril says ARM is the double, triple, quadruple dips about these entertainment companies now. When I worked for Sony, there were 100 tentacles to it. Oh my God, that's true. God, Sony is the master of it. She's so right. I love me some Tendrils. She's so right with Sony. Soul Reaver in 99 is the best game ever. It's like Shakespearean tragedy with vampires and wraiths.
Oh, that's
I'm not a big video game guy, but that stuck with me because it's epic.
Hey, now let me ask you, what do you think I should do to prepare? Do you think I should make my show more like Tom Snyder's show? Should I start?
You know how the thing of the rent's too high, which it is for everybody? This is Chubby Pickles' cause celebre is controllers have too many goddamn buttons. He's so right, and it's not necessary.
Oh, what about those shooters, John? You know, you get these shooters that there's so many settings.
Yeah.
It drives. I don't want to play it, but I want to play it so much. But there's so many different combinations of things you have to do, different grenade launches and all this shit that you have to keep stopping for. And if you don't play it for 2 weeks, you can't remember all the combinations of things.
You're so right.
So overload.
You're so right. I told this to my nephew. I gave him this. I gave him these like dumb compliments, like just to watch him cringe. And I said, David's obviously like a virtuoso musician and stuff, and he could play all these different instruments. I said to my nephew, I go, Steven, I am so proud of you. You were like you were like the best musician. The way you know every combination on that Xbox control, you were like an unbelievable. You are a virtuoso musician. The way you can play all these different notes.
It really is, and it's no different to a musician
it's no different.
learning something. My friend is so dumb, but he knew all the Mortal Kombat combination button presses. He knew them all.
It's like playing notes.
So you can't play this guy. Yeah. You can't play him because he kills you straight away with this huge fireball that comes from the sky. So I just never played him. But that shows that you can learn. And there's not much of a difference in learning all of those combinations as to finger positions up front. But yeah, it's crazy. But you try and play these games and you've got these shields that you can use, but they give you 3 different shields and they only run for 15 seconds each, and you have to go and get the tree of life. You have to run to it to get more power and all this shit. And you can't play the game.
Hey, Bon.
Completely overworked. Are the kids loving that though? That's what the kids must love all of this Bible, these pages they have to go through.
That's what they bank on. That's what they bank on. That's what they bank on. The kids are going to go along with it. They never rebel.
I loved games like Max Payne, a shooter where you just had shotguns, handguns, and shit like that, and you didn't have this crazy arsenal. You have these backpacks in these games where you've got all this shit in it. It's crazy.
And they charge you for individual downloads of it, I might add.
I'm realizing how much I love talking about games.
You remember
we could do a gaming show, John.
Sade had a song called We Gave You the Tree of Life, Tree of Life. That's one of my favorite Sade songs. Oh my God, JMD, that's so funny. Oh my, Olivia Munn on G4, for Christ's sake. Olivia Munn is John Mulaney's wife, Davyd, and she was on a video game show back in the day on G4. Did you know that? Davyd?
I have no idea what G4 is. Just tell me about G4.
It was a video game.
Before G Feed comes back. A video game. Okay.
Yeah,
he's back.
College or anything?
No, no, I don't. What is it, Jackie Puppet? Hey, he has an idea.
I would make a Greg Kinnear puppet.
Make a Greg Kinnear puppet.
Yeah, but that's redundant.
Greg Kinnear hosted the 1:35. He replaced Bob Costas.
Right.
In the Costas interview at 1:35 in the morning. You know how the kids had a Occupy Wall Street?
Yeah.
What Bon Jovial just said, they should do Occupy Xbox, Occupy Microsoft, or Occupy Sony, and take back all the things, all the video game encroachments and
they
perks
screwed.
we used
They
to have.
screwed everyone. And
They
there
waited
was a
too
game.
long.
There's a really big one, John, that sums up everything you were saying. Is a few years ago, and I'm going to have to look up the name of the game, but it had a year in it, like 2049 or something.
Okay.
John, they released this game. I think it was like a shooter. It's like Fallout or a game like that, and it had a day. They released the game before it was technically finished. It was glitching.
Oh
Yep.
God.
They had to rush release an update
That's not
within a
gonna
few
stop 'em.
weeks because
Yep.
the whole industry, there's so many videos on YouTube of people playing it saying, and this is where I can't play the game anymore. It crashes every time. And then people started writing all about that. That the game isn't finished. That's
Do you
that
think
they were
the-
saying that's
well,
going to start being the
You
new
know why they
normal.
do that,
like,
Bon? You know why they do that? They don't finish the game, so you buy the downloads individually now. So they deliberately don't finish the game. That happens all the time. And so you'll buy the patch, or you'll buy the expansion pack, or you'll buy especially the individual downloads that they sell. They want to not fit. They know they hold back. They're stripping the game of things, so you buy it individually. It'd be like, I don't know, like buying a wardrobe and, oh no, we're going to sell you the cufflinks separate, and we're going to sell you the shoelaces separate. Or what they do with cars, where you have to buy the floor mat. What is with the floor mats? Why is that taken out of the car? So
yeah, exactly.
They
They cost $15. Why aren't they
$15.
in the
It's not
car?
special.
There you go.
Exactly right.
I think the signature of like obsolescence economy is the notion that you're not taking a physical product anymore. You're signing up for a subscription, so you're basically entering a marriage with us for the rest of your life.
Right. It's a Ponzi scheme. They have you on the hook that you have to keep updating and keep doing. Yeah, and we said Tendrils admitted it's the Sony's exactly doing that. They have people in a boardroom scheming all the time. How do we steal? How do we bilk more money from these poor 11-year-olds that are asking their mom for the credit card to buy Sony downloads?
Yeah.
That's the game.
By the way, John, you know who Greg Kinnear's head writer was?
The guy from Andy Kindler's
yes, J. Elvis Weinstein.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's very boring.
Yeah.
But he was the head writer next to Kindler. Guys, Wigorous. Guys, beyond stealing experiences, I know his staff has copy paste from the Jeff Lewis live show. Oh God, that guy had a great. I had a thing I wanted to play on.
That's a name I haven't heard in a
that
while.
Monique wouldn't play, and it was great. He really gave me
that
some.
Monique would not play.
No, she wouldn't. He was on one of the wrap-up show, and he was shitting on the Stern show, and it was great. And we never got to it. And I wanted to. He's from the Bravo thing, Davyd, right?
Oh,
You people
right.
like him.
Yes.
Yep.
He's with the bad facelift, right?
Oh, that's right. He's like his thing is you people seem to love real estate a lot, Davyd. I think one of the gay occupations seems. Yeah, you people, right? You love like real estate.
I love phallic things in the sky. Yes, sure.
By the way, you think I'm going to gloss over you saying obsolescence before? Are you kidding me? Obsolescence.
I've said stuff like that before.
I know you have.
See, that's
I know
the thing
you
you
have good
don't do. You
vocabulary.
don't say to me. That's the thing that's strange to me is that you don't
I know you have
do
a
the
good
callback
vocabulary.
after I've talked, but you do it with him. It's fine that you do it with him.
Hey, Conan.
Yes.
Here's your replacement.
Thank you.
What is that?
I'm not
That's your
sure.
replacement.
What is that? A test pattern?
The NBC test pattern.
Oh, the NBC. Here it is. Let me see that.
Conan looks like he's going to cry.
Yeah.
Because he's in here. He thinks his show, he's pretending he doesn't know he's on the show's on the verge of cancellation. And it's that old thing we say now where you could put a rerun of The Simpsons on and it does better than these shows. And the test pattern is one step away from what that is.
The puppet draws well. The puppet has artistic ability as well.
Let me yell at the Jackie Puppet. First of all, you're obnoxious. I'll tell you why. Because you're such a loser, Jackie Puppet, that you don't even have a show. You don't even have a show, and you're making fun of Conan.
He will have a show.
Oh, yeah?
What are you
Trust
gonna do?
me.
What are you going to do if they S-can you?
If they S-can you?
S-can.
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 What's S-can?
You know, the S word.
S word. Oh, S. I see. The S
What are
word.
you going to do if they get rid of you?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'll get a job.
You need a
I'll do
writer?
it with my hands.
Say, hire me.
Well, you know what? The Jackie Puppet. Now he's pitching for a job.
Yeah.
Come on.
Show Conan how funny you are.
Don't underestimate, and I love him. We all love him, right? How bitter Billy West is too.
Oh, totally.
Billy West, if you ever hear him, Davyd, you've heard him in interviews like where
Yes.
he has very strong opinions on show business and who deserves to be there and who doesn't. And he's usually right. And being a voiceover guy, there's nothing worse than like Cameron. He likes to use Cameron Diaz. Goes, so I got to work, and Cameron Diaz is getting voiceover jobs that should go to my guys. And he hates that, Shrek or something where real talented voiceover people aren't getting the jobs, but they're going to celebrities. And he's right about that. But
Billy, I mean, Billy obviously is a huge success because of everything he's done, not the least of which is like Futurama and Ren and Stimpy and all that stuff. But like, I do think there is that bitter Boston alcoholic side of him just like fuels the Jackie Puppet. Some of the stuff I think he
loves this. No, he loves this.
Oh, that was great.
He looks
John.
at Conan as someone who does not belong in that setting.
Right.
Cyberpunk 2007.
So that was the game. This is just for the nerds.
Okay.
Thanks nerds. Thanks nerds. You know how you do
that's
that.
that's real. Bon, when did that come out and for what system?
That well, I think it came out for everything. Hold on.
Wow, those graphics are amazing just off the visual of that one still shot.
Yeah. So the PC Cyberpunk 20, came out in 2020. This is the one I was talking about. The PC version worked, but the console version was unfinished and buggy, a disappointing game that caused CD Projekt to remove it from the PlayStation Store several months later. The controversial reception, discussions, investigations, including a class action lawsuit. CD Projekt has been working on expansion of games.
I want you to buy the expansion
some of
pack.
the launches. So that's in the list of the most games that were unfinished on launch. That's not like number 2 of all time. That caused so much trouble. Like every YouTuber was just going crazy about that. So I just wanted to point that out because I know there's all these gaming is something you keep to yourself for a lot of people like us. There's going to be a lot of people in the comments maybe after the show who are gaming nerds, and I'm going to be able to call them out now because they're going to make comments. They can't help but comment about that game.
There was a time when I was
much anger.
There was a time when I was like an expert. I'm not going to, I'm an old
John.
head. I'm going to admit that it's passed me by, but there was a time when I kept up with it and I've let my nephews pass me by that I was standing. So I could speak that. I can still speak the language. I just don't quite keep up with it anymore.
When games like Quake and Doom, when they brought out the new versions, John, I had periods where I'd play like 10 hours at night gaming. Because I love playing a computer game like that is not too different than learning guitar or something like learning time or editing. What we do, John, time just goes out the window when you're playing a game.
It is.
It's the same with writing a song or learning to edit video and all that.
Well,
you look at the clock and it's like 5 hours later with gaming. You're like, you can't stop. It's just obsession. Like
my nephews
crazy.
became so good at games, especially my older, that I would get more pleasure, almost like a proud parent, watching them play than me playing themselves. Like I've
got to tell you this
the
story.
games are so entertaining that I would sit back and I would watch them because I didn't even need to play it anymore because they were so good at it.
People who don't game don't understand how obsessive. I'll give you the best story I've ever seen. One time when, let's say it was 2004 or 5 or something, my friend calls me and he's still living with his parents. So we all were then, I think.
Yeah, everybody.
He calls me and he's talking to me, and then he's walking upstairs to his bedroom and he's talking to me, and then he goes, oh fuck, my mother turned off the PlayStation 2. So this is for people who don't game. You'd get to a point in the game and then you just leave it.
It wouldn't save it.
You'd press pause and then you wouldn't turn off. So you might leave it. And they made the console so well that it wouldn't stop running. You could just sit there.
You couldn't
so you'd come
auto-save
back
it,
a
yeah.
day later to try and clock what you were at because you couldn't save. Yeah, as you were saying, you couldn't save it. And he walks into the room and we're probably talking about Ricky Gervais or something back then. We're going, I love The Office. And then he goes, oh, my mum's turned off my PS2. And he goes, I was just up to the hardest part in Metal Gear Solid. And he goes, oh, fuck. And then he walks downstairs with the phone talking to me going, oh, and he walks into the lounge room. He goes, Mum, and I'm on the phone listening. He goes, Mum, you turned off my PlayStation 2? And she goes, yeah, you left it on. It's a complete waste of power. And then he went berserk. You fucking turned that off. Do you know how fucking long? And I hung up the phone. Like,
You don't have sound drops for that?
No, I hung up the phone slowly going, oh my God. And he called me back straight away. And when I answered, he's still yelling at her. And then I stayed.
That's not
I stayed
an
on the
uncommon
line because
thing.
I was like, and he yelled at her for like 5 minutes. And then I just went, when he walked out, he's just, never do that again. And then I said, I got to go. And I called one of our best buddies straight away. And I said, you're not going to believe what just happened. When I told my friend, he was like crying, laughing. That's the obsession though. It's like learning an instrument.
That's not an uncommon thing. I'm sure a lot of people went through that when somebody turned. You couldn't autosave it in those years. I had this with sports. I did it to myself though, where I was playing full seasons on the sports games, and I would play it, and I would play like 5 games, right? And accidentally turned the thing off and didn't save it. So you lost. However, like let's say it took me 11 hours to play that stuff. I lost all that and didn't save it. That was when
they changed it.
Yeah,
they changed it not long after 2004 or 5, so that you auto saves so much more,
especially
often
sports games.
You can't get that back. And the sad thing about all that gaming is that you really get nothing from it in life. You waste time.
Well, I mean,
That's
some kids have managed to they go into like development or
that's one in a million. That's one in a million.
There's professional gamers now. There's actually professional gamer leagues now where you
a bit of that. But
no, you're right. For the most part,
a lot of it is.
We have to stop worrying about what we can monetize and just have fun and enjoy what we have, because that's the biggest thing. If you love that, if that's filling you up, and it's very creative, and if we don't have to monetize everything to validate you spending time on it.
That's the biggest thing in the world, though, in the industry.
I know.
That's bigger than the movie industry. These games make just so much money, and you've got the biggest one coming this year, which we're going to have to review, is Grand Theft Auto 6. That's going to be out of this world. That'll be on all the news. That's going to break all records. It's incredible. I'm sorry I had to interject there. I'm sorry.
Okay. You have to incorporate this into the last conversation and fuse together the video game for the ARM shorties, the Lotus shorties. Rick the Electrician, I feel this is a great reference. Oh, my Michael Clayton. Oh, my Michael Clayton over here. That fucking George Clooney movie. Remember that Michael Clayton? Holy shit!
Oh, I do remember that, Davyd. I can't do this without asking you this one question. Have you ever played computer games for more than 20 minutes?
I had like little kid computer games in the 90s, like CD-ROMs and stuff, but I didn't have video games actually.
That's crazy. And you're the perfect age for when they were exploded.
Yeah, and we asked my mom and dad once, like, why didn't we have video games? And they were like, you never asked for them. And I was like,
wow.
Oh, okay. So yeah, my parents were very
what about your friends, Davyd? What about your friends playing them all?
They did, yeah. I mean, I think I wasn't really what you call social until 6th grade, and so by then
that should have made you more into gaming then.
Yeah, instant friends.
Yeah, I mean, by that point, I think we were like doing more outside stuff by that age, and just like, I don't know, it just never intersected with my life that much. For
this is what
reason.
you were doing.
Well, all the guys from my barbershop quartet are dead, so no.
You are not far off, sir.
What does that mean?
That's an old reference to like the 30s or the 40s when they had barbershop quartets on the corners singing together. And Steve Rogers, Captain America, is actually like 95 years old.
Right.
So that's what he remembers.
I I was pushing a hoop with my stick going down the. That's what I was doing.
Imagine Tamara Francois gaming, playing Grand Theft Auto, driving through her old neighborhood in Culver City, blowing bitches up, right? She goes, I just got back from work and you assholes are still on.
She's got to play GTA. I bet she does.
Maybe you'll get a job on this show.
Well, I got one.
Yeah. See, now you won Jackie Puppet.
Yeah, Greg Kinnear, very interesting career, right? Who's going to do that again, right? He gets the talk soup, and then he gets the late night, and he becomes like a decent actor. Like he gets Good as It Gets, and Sabrina, and
he was
Little
a
Miss
very
Sunshine.
good actor. He was in Matchstick Men, wasn't he? I think he wasn't. With
He
Nicolas
was
Cage,
in
I think
Invincible. He played the Eagles coach, and he was excellent. He looked exactly like him too. It was Dick Vermeil. And people forget I was that Marky Mark, who I wouldn't have cast, and Vincent Papali, but he was great in that.
I love this. I'm supposedly on the way out, but a puppet is sucking up to me.
Go ahead. Well, the puppet needs work.
Kurt Schilling, Donnie Rando. Kurt Schilling is the champion of wasting money on cans. That's a great reference.
Conan, how funny you are.
Okay.
Write a joke for Conan.
Did you hear about the guy? Did you hear about the Jewish guy that makes his own beer?
No, I didn't hear about the Jewish guy who makes his own beer.
He brews his own.
You're a scream.
Hey, what's the matter with that?
That's great.
Come on, that's effing fun.
How many times do you think Jackie's told that joke in his life?
Sincerely.
Oh my God.
Right.
This is funny stuff.
You're saying Conan would get ratings if he hired you as a writer?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you know what you ought to do is dump that lazy load, Andy Richter.
People think that Robert Smigel took the Jackie puppet and turned it into Triumph.
Right.
That's a thing I hear a lot. Smigel was such a big Stern fan that he said, you know what? I'm going to do my own Jackie puppet and have Triumph and do this sort of old vaudeville comic with a weird, what would you call it, Davyd? Vaguely Russian accent.
Yeah, I always thought it was trying to be like a Latino accent. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about that, but he, I remember Artie saying on like the Artie Quitter podcast or something that when Artie first went on Conan in like 2001, at the commercial breaks, Conan would talk to him about the show, about the Stern show.
Oh, yeah.
Like he was a super fan. So I feel like Conan's very hooked into the
Andy Richter is.
Is he? Oh, interesting.
Andy Richter would do the super fan. He would do the celebrity super fan round.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, he's a really big fan. Who doesn't love Andy Richter? You think I used to say that he should have been the host.
Andy Richter is funny.
I
do like Andy Richter. Yeah,
I do. He's got a nice. He's got Riz. You know, he's got that.
Yeah.
I do. Who doesn't like Andy Richter?
And he doesn't come off as desperate like Conan does, and
he has the perfect sidekick. Like knows when to come in. And again, Conan chose very wisely by choosing him.
Right.
But you run the risk that you like the sidekick better, and I don't think he wants that.
He's the Artie of Conan O'Brien. Yeah.
Yep.
Right?
Jackie,
all right.
Hire a guy with a fatter stomach.
Right.
This is organic. I did this with beer.
All right, very nice.
Very nice.
Conan,
I like the puppet. Yes.
The puppet is angry because he is jealous. Obviously, you have a job that very few people could ever get.
Thank you.
It was a 1 in a million shot, right?
The puppet's been around for years. And nobody's ever done.
That's right.
The puppets are very bitter and angry. And
as
a wife
Why,
and
the puppet is working. This is a popular show.
Yeah.
The puppet's going to be on the E channel.
No, he wants to be head writer of your
You
show.
Irish bastard.
You Irish bastard. It's not even an insult. Just Conan is putting on that thin smile where he's going with it, but you can tell he's annoyed. How's he 100%? He has every bit of that.
By the way, this is a good timing doing this the day after St. Patrick's Day.
I know, right? Conan O'Bye-Bye. That's a great internet name, right? Conan O'Bye-Bye.
Yeah.
If you were to make a fake name. If you see me a new name on Reddit, that's me, Conan O'Bye-Bye.
He's very
lousy Mick.
By the way, before I want to talk about Reddit, Bond, the next time we do a Shuli-based show, so that's like our gift to the Shuli's Anonymous subreddit. Is that what we're doing? Bonnie, with us, or did you cut out again? He's playing 2077 right now.
Hey, John, just 10-minute warning. I have to go.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
friggin' heart.
All right, very good. He's evil. All right, listen to me.
Yes.
Better he pick on you than me.
You know what, Conan?
Yes.
I know. Where's that lawsuit, Pell? Howard
Right.
suing Smigel over Triumph. That's very true. He definitely would. I got to go back and listen to those shows. Like, I wonder if he accused him of stealing the jacket. You know, the concept, because he would have. There's no bitterness that's too bitter for him.
I wonder if because I feel like the Jackie puppet sort of only existed. Billy was the only one who operated him, so it's like Billy leaves in '95, and then on the heels of that is I feel like Howard is only looking for stuff that he's doing concurrently with someone else stealing it.
I gotta say, for someone so young, I mean, you're like Steve Rogers, where you really know you have quite a recall for old stuff on the show. It's pretty amazing.
That's my like. I can name every Best Picture winner by if you name a year, I can tell you what movie won Best. That's just my brain.
Okay. 2003.
That is Lord of the Rings: Return of the King.
2004.
That is $1 Million Baby.
Okay. Who won Best Actor in 2004?
That I don't know, because I only know the Best Picture winners.
Well, these are my sweet. That year is special to me because Depp was nominated for Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh,
He wins the SAG award, which to me is the most important award. I think that is the best award. I don't care what anybody says. All your peers voting, that's the best. Bill Murray won the Golden Globe, but Sean Penn won the Oscar.
Oh, for I Am Sam?
Yeah. No, the Boston movie.
Yeah, I forget it too.
That Clint Eastwood directed.
Yeah.
And he was okay, but that was a performance. I mean, that's a comedic action movie, and he turned to get even nominated for that. And the way, in terms of talent, Mystic River, thank you, Pell.
Yeah.
Deserved it, and I still feel screwed 20 years later.
Right.
And he was friends with both those guys.
Yeah.
Did something that is typical in television.
Go ahead.
You started talking about the Tom Snyder show.
Yeah, my party hat just fell off.
That's a good omen for me.
Yes.
Your farewell party to Conan hat just fell off.
I started talking about Tom Snyder.
And Conan said, oh yes, when is that show starting?
Yeah, like he hasn't been plotting that. Let me tell you what's going on.
The name Snyder? Help me here with this.
Here's what you've got to do.
What do I have to do? Help me.
I'm being serious.
All right.
I analyze television because all I do is watch television.
Okay.
Unlike you, I don't have girlfriends and stuff like that to keep me busy.
Distraction.
I sit and watch TV day and night.
I don't have
That's
a wife
all I
and
do.
children.
All right.
So I am.
So that's what Conan should be saying back to him. If he had
Honestly.
I'd be coaching his ass if I knew he was coming in there, and I'd have him saying all that stuff back to him.
I don't
analyzer.
I don't have a wife, 2 children, and an infant, a new infant that needs lots of attention. Taking up my time right now.
David's so spot on. You know, Ashley's just born here.
Yeah, she's like
she's an infant. That's exactly right. She's just born here.
Television and broadcasters.
And now tendrils. Look at Howard's hair here. If he had the same Jerry, look at then he has this. How would you possibly have to iron this? She's so right. How does it go to that? It's where were we back then with this? Oh my God, the wig was even here. This isn't right. Where were we back then?
That's so true.
And then Barbara DeRush is like, I'm just wondering, is that real? What is that hair? What?
And what you have to understand is this is why the pressure is on Conan. It's nothing to do with Tom Snyder.
Okay.
What happens is when Jay Leno and David Letterman are on, they are your lead-in.
Yes.
Okay. Do you understand why I'm saying
Do people at home understand the concept of lead-in?
Yeah, I'll explain.
Okay.
Because it's a very difficult concept. They're the shows on before.
Hence the name lead-in.
Lead-in. And they attract some 40 million viewers. It is Conan's job to keep a percentage of those viewers awake at 12:30.
I know something about lead-ins when I like, so it's like if you took over for Simon Cowell on America's Got Talent and you lose half the audience, right? It's kind of like you lost Simon Cowell as your lead-in and you lost half the audience. But in your case, it's the same time slot with the same people, so it's worse in your case.
And you inflated the budget to move the show to New York.
Yes, and you cost them way more money than it would have been. That's even.
And
worse.
how much must that have cost to move it?
Oh,
to another state?
There's got to
Can
be a way we
you-
can look that up. There's got to be a way we can look that number
Does
up.
that mean all the people who work on it are in apartments while they're shooting?
That's such a great.
They move.
Right. What would you do? Wouldn't they have to live in hotels? What do you do with them?
Yeah.
Yeah, where do you live in New York?
I always wondered that too about movies and stuff.
That could be 50 million more.
That's a great point. That is a great point.
Yes.
It's not a question of, hey, he should hold Jay's audience. He should now be holding Jay and Dave's audience.
Right.
That's what they expect.
I don't
you
even
to do.
actually study show. I don't even have to entertain them.
Right.
I just have to keep them awake.
So Conan is now in the process of trying to build this huge audience that will, if he.
Conan's kidding, but Davyd just said it. He's right. Like, what is the quality control for these shows? Do you think that the executives are saying to them, I don't like that bit at 12:50. It's just keep the audience. They don't care what you do.
Well,
there's no quality control to that.
And toward that end, it's better if they fall asleep, but just keep the TV on. Like I would be putting the most like tryptophan laced content on at the beginning of my show to get them to fall asleep, so that the box stays on NBC all night. You know,
that's all that matters. It just matters. Will you not turn the channel from Friends and ER? And that's all they need back then. Howsy Football says, I have a 13-year-old. I hear him cursing and screaming in video games. And I don't know how these kids go to school, Howsy, now with all the options you have at home. That is, any parent has the Herculean task of trying to get their kids to go to school when all this entertainment is sitting at home waiting for them. Could you imagine being that age and having these video games waiting for you when you got home in middle school?
Crazy. I used to get excited because I had Letterman tape on the VHS to get home to.
That's it.
Think about
I
that.
had a Sonics Suns game recorded from TBS that aired at 10:30 at night. That was what I went home to.
You can get half of the people to stay awake, 20 million people.
That'd be huge.
There will be no stopping him.
Where did you get these figures?
Look, I'm telling you, I studied this stuff. I was a media planner. I understand media.
I'm sorry.
I'm the king of all media. What is it, Jackie Puffett? What is your problem with this?
You could learn, Jackie Puppet.
You gotta make people stay up. You know what I would do?
Yeah, what's that?
Here's the deal. You mail Coke to everybody out there.
Really?
You're funny.
Very good.
Happy
Warren
Jackie.
Littlefield paid for it.
So did Lorne Michaels change his phone number yet, or what? What's the deal?
Not yet.
Now what happens? Does he advise you?
They just say he's not in.
So now what's happening is that let me tell you, your competition, Tom Snyder, is so awful. I'm going to tell you something about Tom Snyder. He's unwatchable. So you are so lucky that Letterman is so insecure that when he came to hiring someone who would follow him, he had to find the weakest individual in the world because Letterman doesn't want someone outshining him.
Can you believe the irony or the hypocrisy of him saying this? He
just
knows it so well because that's him to a T 10 times what Letterman is. Go ahead, Davyd. Sorry.
No, exactly what you said. There's so many clips from this era specifically that you could. I think someone did this once where he was talking about Imus, leaving his wife and 3 kids for a new woman, and just put it around. They edited it to make it sound like he's talking about himself, and this is another example of that.
Well, who do you think John Hine is? Right. This is what it does. I'm telling you, John Hine is essentially Tom Snyder to Howard's Letterman. When Howard goes on Letterman, he walks around that show and realizes, oh, what perks does Letterman have that I don't?
Right.
And I need this, whether it's hallway clearing or eye contact, or Letterman is one of the biggest king babies in all of, and how that guy, Davyd, was it you? Were we on Patreon? We talked about the ratings for the late night stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. I just got to look at the ratings for late night. Get this, guys. Stephen Colbert is number 1. He doubles Jimmy Fallon's audience. And we talk about Lorne Michaels and Conan. How Jimmy Fallon stays on the air is insane. Jimmy Kimmel, 60% higher audience retention than Jimmy Fallon has. Jimmy Fallon is
terrible. How is that?
I don't know how he's still on the air because Lorne Michaels keeps the shit on the. It is unbelievable how he can keep things that don't garner ratings or any approval on the air. It's incredible.
whether it's Pete Davidson or Jimmy Fallon and his star-making machine and his pyramid scheme. It is. I'm telling you, Bon. I just saw this. This is like last week. Stephen Colbert doubles Jimmy Fallon's audience.
That's
Kimmel,
incredible.
60% higher audience than Fallon, and Kimmel's
That's
new to
crazy.
this team from ABC.
Yeah, and I think that I just think that NBC has all this like legacy plush money that they can just keep him floated for as long as they. I mean, there's got to be a tipping point, obviously, but I don't know. I don't know what their plans are for that.
Can I tell you what I think the tipping point is? And I keep forgetting to bring this with me as I come on. So I'm watching. This is about a month ago. I'm flipping around and I'm going through the talk shows to see if I could find any Depp-related stuff or things we might use. And I'm going through the guests and stuff. And I stop at Kimmel and I stop at Fallon. I stop at Fallon, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I see this weird thing. I'm fast forwarding it, and I see it a guest on. And I think it was Chris Evans, and 11 minutes straight of commercials. 11 minutes, guys. I've never in my life seen an 11-minute commercial break. I sat there and timed it. No, I'm not.
Come back.
No.
He'd
Never
do
came
that little
back.
trick.
Never came back.
He'd
never
come
did
back,
music,
and then he'd
nothing.
go back and say, "We're
I
going
watched
to
it
another
10
break."
times.
I don't know
11
why they
minutes
did that.
straight of commercials.
I don't know if that's possible. How is that possible? Isn't it 5 minminutes?
They think
the
no one's
average over
watching.
there.
And they tell the advertisers, and they tell all we're not getting the rating. We're gonna inundate everybody with commercials, and that's how we'll make our money back. I couldn't believe it. 11 minutes straight of commercials.
Yeah, the only time I watch like TV anymore is if I go back to my mom's house because she's 62 and still watches TV.
That's Steps age.
And there you go. Yeah, and so
Fred Norris.
It's like exactly that much commercial time. It is insane. Commercials have gotten so much more tacked on to a show than the last time I watched TV.
Davyd, I know you people watch The View, right?
Yes.
Have you seen The View? Is like you laugh at The View. It's 1,000 times edgier than the current Stern show is. They scream at each other. They have real arguments. It's way better than the Stern show. I watch The View over the Stern show any day of the week.
Well, they actually call Howard out. I mean, unlike any of his staff, right?
God damn, it's so true. So I'm watching. So The View, Davyd. So 31 minutes of content, 29 minutes of commercials.
There you go. That's
have you ever watched The View?
We're shocked, John. You use the N-word a lot.
Have you ever watched The View where Whoopi Goldberg wasn't rushing to a commercial in the middle of a sentence?
Oh, that's my only.
When you look at it that way, it's every 8 minutes, 7 minutes they're going to an ad.
She does this thing they're in the middle of a conversation. She goes, we're gonna come back. We're gonna rewind this. We're gonna come back with it. And then why did you let her finish the sentence? What is the big they? So I looked at it. 29 minutes of commercials.
Oh my god!
That was the thing I saw. Now it could go up and down, but so that's how they get away with this.
There's if Whoopi Goldberg's tombstone comes with a holograph, it's going to be her like pointing at the camera, like we're going to come back.
And this isn't a castigation of Whoopi Goldberg. That's what she has to do. That's what they make her do it.
Yeah.
And she knows that she looks annoyed. She can't finish her own thoughts. She's trying to segue, and they're all screaming over each other. They have to because they have 30 minutes to have a conversation about deep shit.
She's got to look down the barrel of that camera and kind of flick her finger up nonchalantly to say we got to go to a commercial break. It's not her choice.
If you don't think this is the truth, there isn't a person in the industry that doesn't know it. Right, Jackie Puffett?
Yeah. I heard Max Weinberg chained himself to the cameras.
Davyd, you have the Gaydar and Jimmy Fallon. I've been meaning to ask you that for a long time. So Xavier's mugshot wants to know, and Barbara DeRush wants to know. What's the Gaydar and Jimmy Fallon?
Jimmy Fallon comes off as very asexual to me. He doesn't seem to be. The only reason I would think he isn't gay is because he's grooming 14-year-old girls.
Horatio Sands. We gotta play. Forgot the article again. I forgot the goddamn article.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, what the hell? The way he acts with Andy Cohen, though, that doesn't set your Gaydar off even more. John Mayer, right? John Mayer.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Well, John Mayer, I think, is like. I think I defined this term on the show before, but I think he's gay baiting, where he's not gay, but he wants to have the approval of gay men because it's just, at the end of the day, it's just all an ego stroke, you know? And possibly could translate into dollars for him. With Jimmy Fallon, maybe, I don't know. I think he's just so anemic personality wise that like, I don't get any vibe that he is capable of feeling sexual about anyone, you know?
I agree with that. That's a really good analysis. He might be like Morrissey, like asexual.
Right.
Does he had girlfriends? Has he been married?
I mean, he's married, yeah.
He was a product of the Lorne Michaels celebrity couple machine, Bon. So they would do what they do with Pete Davidson, when they would team him up with a starlet every week. And I'm like, what?
That was a good point you brought up during the Pete Davidson. That was,
It's
so
just
they
like
teamed
that.
this little weasel Fallon up. God.
It's just like that. And they would they got it in their heads. They're going to turn him into a star no matter what. And so the publicist would team him up with a new starlet seemingly every couple of weeks. It was like Winona Ryder and I think Jennifer Love, all the ones back then that were big. And that was clearly a product of the star making machine.
Yeah.
Used to be. So Tonecott, I watched an episode of surprise, 21 Jump Street in season 1, and 51 minutes of show, 9 minutes of commercials. And now that has been whittled down in some cases to like an hour show, 38 minutes of show and 22 minutes of commercials.
Yeah.
In some cases. Thank you, Tamara. Arm speaking with a black affect. Thank you, Housey. Thank you. I got to go to sleep. Oh God, this motherfucker's getting up. This is when I've actually gotten up at 3:45 to watch TV. I did that 2 nights ago. I set an alarm. The alarm didn't go off. I felt so cheated that Bon talks about how I love to be up when no one's up because the world slows down. He's right. I felt so cheated that I missed my night crawler time that I actually got up and watched 3 shows at 3:45 in the morning because I felt cheated because the alarm didn't go off.
You don't get up at 3 a.m. because you don't have to.
Right. That's what you want to do.
I will verify that rumor.
You know what you want to do?
What is that?
Get Greg Kinnear and put him in a truck and drive him into a lake like that woman down in South Carolina.
Oh, that's right.
Look at Dawn Sanders. The View is a disgusting show. She's going to be the next Susan. Was it Elizabeth Hasselbeck?
Yeah.
Go on there and
the next Debbie Menonopoulos.
Remember Debbie Menonopoulos? She was on the original cast, right?
The original Bim Bats of yeah. Right.
Do that? People in here are turning on you. What does that mean at home?
You know what I would do for Sweeps Week?
What is that?
I would make a coat out of Ricky Lake and wear it.
All right, Jackie.
Maybe Dawn Sanders is Debbie Menonopoulos.
Right.
How about that? Maybe she is.
Dawn Sanders is an anagram for Debbie Menonopoulos.
That's a cool name. Dawn Sanders is a cool name. That's like
a great name.
Steve Sanders' lost sister on 90210. If they come back on the fucking Jimmy Fallon drinks, so we can't figure out if he likes men or women, says Barbara Rush. Okay. You guys, I'm going to leave this up to you. You want to hear Chris Rock?
I'm probably going to have to go. So
after this,
okay. I have probably 3 to 5 more minutes.
Okay, well, we'll end it after this.
Okay.
This is Chris Rock did the show in 2004. Howard is now knee deep in, he's divorced. He's with Beth now, and he's trying to shame Chris Rock and Chris Rock's marriage, and Chris Rock's not having it. So Chris Rock hits back and makes a comment about Howard cheating on Allison, which is like a legitimate going, no, you definitely cheated, and Howard's trying to hum out of it. And we have it after this, an N-word. The thing that Artie says about it, he tells a story about Chris Rock coming on the show, and Chris Rock knows he's going to be called the N-word. This is worse than any Howard blackface has ever done. This should get him canceled on the spot when I'm going to play this Zolar thing after this.
I hope you edited out the N-word.
Kind of. We'll see what happens.
No. I can't believe you would bang a chick without a condom.
Okay, you, some psycho girl
You know, you ever meet these girls that are like,
I can't believe you would ever bang a chick without a condom. What does that sound like to you, Davyd? Right away.
A man who doesn't want his penis to feel vaginal lining.
Right.
The Pat Rileys of sex that can get the most out of
a man.
Get a performance out of you that you didn't even know you had.
And meanwhile, you probably withdrew, but then she said, "Oh, you must have had a little accident."
I don't think.
So Chris Rock's wife hates Howard. She's on the right over here. You see they're sitting on a stupid. They're playing the Wizards this night, which is an interesting team. So Chris Rock's wife, Malik Compton Rock, is on the right. She hates Howard, and you'll see why during these clips. And she has every right to, and she should hate him.
There was any of that. You know.
Did you?
No, they're divorced. They're divorced, Bon. He's Rock got divorced. There's a lot of rumors that they think that he cheated with Rosario Dawson on one of his movies. Wow. I think he admits to cheating on her too.
Oh, wow.
Not with Rosario Dawson, not specifically her, but that's definitely one of the rumors that they're not. Rosario Dawson's with whatchamacallit from New Jersey.
Draw?
Plus, you know what else actually?
Chris, did you withdraw?
Corey.
You know what happened to? I don't even remember not having a condom, to tell you the truth.
Right.
But you don't know women could be that ruthless until you've been in that situation.
Right.
Because you're a married guy and you actually trust, you have a decent relationship with your mother and you trust your wife and you end up like, so a girl tells you she's pregnant. Okay, I guess.
Wow.
Then be the man. Then you're out there and you're like, Snoop Dogg was right. Don't love these hoes.
Is the sex is the sex actually good? Because the whole time you got to be thinking, oh crap, I'm cheating on my wife.
Oh, look who's talking.
So he accuses Chris Rock of cheating. This is 2004, so they're still very much married. He accuses he just throws this weird comment, you're cheating on your wife, and Chris Rock goes, look who's talking. And it sounds like he knows something.
Crap, I'm cheating on my wife.
Oh, look who's talking.
I didn't cheat.
Okay.
Allegedly. Didn't. No, I didn't.
All right. You didn't get caught. Don't rub it in. It's like 30 years of crazy strippers. You didn't bang one?
Nope.
Oh, yeah.
Ask Robin.
How would I know?
By the way, I have tape of you in that hotel with the woman.
Oh, good. Good.
Do you remember that?
That's it, Fred. Sound effect your way out of it. Chris Rock throwing it back at him.
Yeah.
He already said 30 years of strippers on that couch. You didn't bang one, I'm sure. And he knows something. That's great. He's the best attitude coming in there.
It's like Alec Baldwin on the phone talking about Beth being in those circles of like call girls. When he called in that one time in 2002.
Yes. Yeah, that we got to get back to that at some point too. You got to remember too. So Allison's people, say her team of lawyers, he's still talking about Allison. So Howard's nervous that she's going to hear this, and this can be used against him by Allison's lawyers at the same time. So he's trying to. But again, there's a gag order on that. I think 2 years after this.
Wow. No, I think that's I think it's very honest of you to talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's embarrassing, getting caught.
It's hard.
How do they get a hold of you? She calls you up and goes, Chris, I'm pregnant with your baby.
They call. You're easy to get in touch with.
And she probably
How long do they wait? Because she can't say that the next day. I mean, that's a pretty good scam.
It's a real good scam.
So I guess at some point, somebody accused Chris Rock of, the old NBA thing where they have these, what do they call them? These kind of groupies that try to get impregnated by you, or they claim they had your baby, they get cash in. So that's a thing, and he got accused of this.
There's some.
They got to put some planning into it.
High up. Very famous men have been caught with the same.
So there's a baby somewhere that has lived because it was as a result of a scam.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Cosby paying that girl's support for all those years.
But he was the dad, wasn't he?
No, it wasn't his kid.
It wasn't.
It wasn't.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's Bill Cosby gossip before all that stuff hit, right? That's pretty good.
Wow, that's interesting.
I didn't know that either.
Oh my God.
So here, Chris Rock is
They take phone calls. Howard knows exactly. He sets up a phone call to get completely, I mean, beyond racially inappropriate. It makes me angry listening to this.
Yeah.
So this fucking total moron Zolar, just a complete fucking reprobate, just everything wrong with every Stern fan. He sounds like Colin. He was a very regular call. So Chris Rock, and this is the thing Artie's talking about, where he knows what's going to happen. And listen to this.
Call though, they called.
There's a white chick on the phone. She claims she banged you.
Oh no.
There's a white chick on the phone who claims she banged you. Howard completely sets this up. So this is Zolar calling.
That's great. Let's see. Tina.
Hi, Howard. I took Chris Rock home one time. I jumped on the bed and told him to do what black men do best. He brought my freaking TV.
You dirty nigga. Oh, hey. Come on. Man.
That's another fine. That's another fine. Thanks a lot, buddy. You get fined by BET. Right.
Listen to Howard laughing, the fake outrage and everything. He has everything to do with that. If you don't think he set that up, you're crazy.
The sequence of fake outrage with the "oh, come on" to then everyone else is talking, so he can get a few more cackles in.
Yep.
Because those are his true feelings. So the order of operations of his utter hatred and contempt for Chris Rock is revealed in that sequence of events.
It gets weirder too. This is a little more. It's not a long clip at all.
Isn't that horrible?
Isn't that horrible?
Can't believe my mother would grow up like that.
God damn it! Wow. I'm so sorry.
No.
Well, that's why we're doing something.
Notice how used to it I am. It's not even like, you should play that in slow motion. The guy said nigger and Rock didn't flinch.
I flinched. Did you actually steal her TV? Is that true?
No, I don't think so. I don't believe I did, but you never know.
So how's things going with the wife?
That's so horrible and unfunny, and I feel sorry for him.
Yeah.
And Howard should have been pulled off the air right for that. That was horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. There was nothing. There's no irony to it. He hits the R. Chris Rock takes it.
You can also hear the history of, like, Chris is going through the entire Rolodex of every time that has happened to him from birth to now.
Yeah.
Know?
He went to that, what did he go to, Bensonhurst? He went to that white school. That was a bit, remember he got bused to the white school? Was it Bensonhurst?
I think, I'm forgetting. But
yeah,
but
I went to, go ahead.
You can just hear his whole life flash before his eyes.
Oh, he's so jaded, right? He's so like, I know, here it goes.
Too.
Yep.
Yeah,
he's so used to it. And he says he's used to it.
It's deflating, right? So,
God
hey,
damn
John,
it, was horrible.
I gotta go. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna play this last one, and we'll get off with you. Unless I'll give Bon like an option if he wants to hear.
I think Bon also.
Oh, did he cut out? Okay, this is the last thing.
Okay.
So this is they're
around.
comparing money. This is Chris Rock comparing money with Howard. Right here. This is the same interview.
Come on, who turns down a job in show business?
No, come on.
How many people have you known
in
your life?
So this is Chris Rock's wife, Howard, saying, "Oh, this is like, again, the irony and the ridiculous hypocrisy of Beth." So he's saying that Chris Rock is using him to get show business jobs. Chris Rock's wife, Malik Compton Rock.
Is she working? Come on, who turns down a job in show business?
No, come on.
How many people have you known in your life?
Wait, a lot of people.
If we walk down the street right now and just offer people jobs in show business.
Do you give her money, your mom?
Yeah, who doesn't?
No, I'm just asking, do you? So she doesn't need to work. I mean, you're a multimillionaire.
I do okay. I don't do as well as you.
Oh, please.
So Chris Rock does the wise thing,
right?
And you turn the money back to Howard and see what he does. Listen.
Okay, I don't do as well as you.
Oh, please.
Oh, please.
How much you get for the HBO special?
Not as much as you.
Oh, come on.
Wait a minute. You have made a few movies,
I don't do as well as Howard. Howard likes to talk to people.
And you've been on tour.
I do fine. I do fine. Howard would jump out a window if he made my money. Really? He'd march out of here like Jackie. I'm not taking it.
I think he's hiding from the government or something.
Yeah, I think you're sitting on a nest egg, my friend. I can't imagine.
I do all right.
You're one of the biggest names in comedy. I don't see.
All right.
You haven't parlayed that?
I do okay.
He doesn't have Tim Allen money.
Right, I don't have Tim Allen money.
There's nothing better than when someone throws it back at Howard, the money thing. That's 04 too, by the way.
That's
Howard's
great.
just about to sign that serious deal if he hadn't already. So it's even worse than Chris Rock thinks or knows. That will end it there, guys. So Davyd can end us with us. Bon, you have anything to add? You want to play the Gat Girl thing on the way out?
He wrote in the private chat he had to go walk his dog. So
shit! All right, I wish I could play from here, but anyway, I love everyone. I'm going to play this one last thing, one last ditch effort for our cause.
Give us your money. Give us your money. Give us your money. Give us your money. You think this shit comes easily? You think ARM spends hours and hours and hours and hours ferreting because he loves it? You think Davyd learns the theme song to Cheers live on the air for his health? And what about the Sarah man? She doesn't want to come on the show anymore, but everybody still loves her. Give her your money. What about Australia? You think it's cheap to broadcast from Australia? It costs hundreds of dollars an hour. Give us your money.
Howdy.
To multiply. How you gonna do it? I know you're qualified. Are you gonna do it? Don't be so circumscribed. Are you gonna do it? Just get yourself untied. Are you gonna do it? Feel the heat pushing you to the side. Feel the heat burning you up. Ready or not, some like it hot and some sweat when the heat is on. Some feel the heat and decide that they can go on. Some like it hot, but you can't tell how hot do you dry. Some like it hot, so let's turn up the heat till we cry.